got next.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Street Fighter 5 podcast. I got next. Welcome to season number 2. Again, we're still in this brand new season, episode 3. It's your host with the most, the man with the plan, it's your boy ShadowAce on the mic, and I'll be the moderator for this podcast, joined by my co-host on production. Always making sure the vibes are smooth, SirRetro, and of course, I always want to first thank SirRetro for agreeing to host this discussion with me. Yes, the reason I have assembled you all here this evening is to get your views and opinions on your, local scene and just street tournament scene life in general. There's just a lot of scenes out there within the states, and everything operates differently depending on what area you're in. So this is just an opportunity to discuss how you feel, and give you a take on the FGC culture in general. The Street Fighter 5, the game's been out for about 7 years by now, and that's quite a long time before we get started on the next journey, the next installment for Street Fighter 6. And each of you may hold different views and opinions towards the gaming community in general. So this is just an opportunity to express yourself in a constructive manner. Let's start off first by introducing our panel for this evening. I'll go first. My name is ShadowAce. I am a Ed Fault player, commentator, podcaster, bracket runner, T.O. I mean, a man of many hats here in Atlanta, Georgia, FGC scene. And our special guest for today is a person who helped me out on getting started with that journey. Believe it or not, a legend in the game. We can't wait for him to introduce himself. But SirRetro, introduce yourself. Talk to the good people.
There we go. Hey everyone. How's it going? I am SirRetro. Of course, if you don't know me by now, I am the Middle Georgia FGC TO trainer, intermediate and beginner trainer, fighting game enthusiast. Been running through the scene for more than 5 years, but of course this year is a special 5th year anniversary of Reboot Retrocade Gaming, which I'm mainly the head of. Definitely looking forward to celebrating 5 years. And of course, as for this content in particular, I am the producer and editor, and now I'm currently video editor of the series. So definitely trying to get more involved with the scene, learning a lot, got more of my feet wet. Excited for what's to come, and I have some plans for this year. And I will always, 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 always give my great gratitude to ShadowAce for definitely giving me an opportunity to be part of the series. Of course, we're in episode 3, I believe, of season 2, and excited to what we have because I heard many stories from ShadowAce about our special guest for tonight. So, can you tell us, my good man, who is our special guest?
You know what I'm saying? That goes by the moniker of CalmWarrior, J.A., short for Jamaica, of course, represented, aka David. You know, a man who I met back a long, long time ago. I want to say, man, probably what, final round 16 or 17, maybe even earlier than that.
Yeah,
All I
earlier than
remember
that.
is it was probably even earlier than that, man. I know I was in my early 20s when I met you, and now I'm in my mid 30s. So that's a long time. This is a cat
Good
who taught me.
Lord. Go ahead, I'm listening. And don't remind me about how long I've been in the FGC, though. This
Look, man, that's just that's sage wisdom. That is
yeah,
just what I'm saying. That's sage wisdom.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You taught me how to, run brackets, man. I first came into the game. I didn't know nothing about running brackets. I knew nothing about the FGC. I was just a young lad, excited to be a part of the atmosphere and the culture of fighting games. And it was
Mhm.
just from that interaction, that kindness that you showed me that day during that weekend, that set my FGC career in motion because, you didn't have to show me anything. You could have just said, yo, get this kid out of here. He doesn't know what he's doing. I only work with professionals. You know what I'm saying? But you took your
Right,
time throughout all the chaos that was going on in the
right.
in the venue, and you broke it down, and we got it together the year after, and then it just kept going, so on and so forth. But you know what? Enough of me of singing his praises. I think he's going to introduce himself to you guys. CalmWarrior, talk to the good people.
Hey, what's going on? My name is David, Calm Warrior. As Aaron said, I've been in the FGC for a minute now, you know what I mean? Since I was 19, to tell you the truth. Back then, we only competed and we played on Neo Geos and arcade boards and all this other stuff, man. Game rooms and everything of the sort. But for right now, like, you know what I mean? I'm doing TO stuff. I've opened up 2 businesses. We're in the FGC, and I've been doing TOs for events or working at large events for, for a while now, helping out at either Evo or working at Final Round for several years, you know what I mean? Or doing my own stuff in Florida. Like, people talk about it all the time, at least even Alex Shabeli has. Um, if I never left Florida, there would have never been a CEO. So I'm a strong believer in causality and, people and, OG mindset people that are there. You know what I mean? I created something in Florida that then with Alex's, twist on it, grew to become CEO. I've done tournaments in San Diego, my own tournament in San Diego, Florida, um, and a few other places to tell you the truth.
Mm.
And from invitationals to regular open tournaments and so much. You know what I mean? You get so much experience and knowledge from doing this stuff, from whether it be your failures or your successes. And you constantly have to grow and do things. Like 2 years ago, we started. At least I did. I started to do a podcast called T.O. Talks. You know what I mean? Just
Mhm.
to highlight TOs. You know what I mean? And don't worry, we're gonna get y'all on there. You know what I mean? And pick your brain and stuff like that. And what you're doing in Atlanta and all this other stuff. And
Mm.
the importance of it. I think of all the jobs within the FGC, I believe that and by FGC, I need everybody to start talking this way. We're our culture. We're not just a community. Fighting game community, that terminology is dead. Fighting game community relies or focuses on your locals, but you're a part of a culture of people, you know what I mean, that spans the entire globe. Anywhere they play fighting games, you're part of that culture. You get what I'm saying? And that's what we do, and that's what the proper definition of the word is, because words matter. So I've been at this for a while. I haven't stopped. I actually just opened up a new business called Six Button LLC, and what that is that we and my executive staff are going to be going around all over the United States and international too, helping less experienced T.Os to do it on a big level, or even be productive, or and sustainable. Because I know you've been a T.O. for a minute. You know that it requires you to use a lot of your own resources, and a lot of us aren't financially literate enough to do this, especially people of Black and brown heritage. Right? We don't have the knowledge. If I knew what I knew, if I knew now, if I knew then what I knew now, I'd be a major, what I mean, rivaling Evo and things of that nature. I would have never taken a break. I would have never, not focused on my kids and did this at the same time if I knew how profitable it could have been. And it wasn't just a passion project. You know what I mean? For a lot of us, it's passion. It's this access to giving the culture of people somewhere to play, somewhere to shine, and it's so much more, right? So Six Button LLC, the latest venture, is going around and helping less experienced T.Os be great, from financing to marketing to running their events, whether we have to help them or, what I mean, in any way, shape, or form, from strategic to operational. You know what I mean? So what we're doing right now is just basically trying to do that and make sure that we're doing everything that we can do to push the culture forward. And we have to take care of the fighting game T.Os, because without them, I believe that there is no culture. You know what I'm saying? You don't have nowhere to play without a T.O. Yeah, okay, we could play online, but online is different, because even now you have online tournaments. Someone has to T.O. it. Someone has to do the work. And if you don't have someone doing the work, you don't have anything. You don't have anywhere that, puts a production team in place. You don't have anywhere that puts someone out on Front Street to get them a sponsorship. Without us, there is no F2C as far as I'm concerned. So, and it's symbiotic. Don't get me wrong. Of course, you need the players to play the game in order for us to do the tournament. But without the tournament, the players have no place to showcase their skill. So it's like, you know what I mean? You can't have one without the other. And I think that, and we're the ones that generate the most jobs. Think about it. When you run an event, you got bracket runners, streamers, pictures, people that manage a stage, security, the actual event organizer. You got people that deal with so much more, logistics, people that calculate the time needed to run the events, side events, people that monitor the time. It's so many different jobs that actually lead into not FGC culture job, but real life jobs, biz dev, HR, accounting, all this stuff, especially with all the foolishness that we ran into just now with Arturo and Maturino, and understanding the integrity that it takes to be in this position. You get what I'm saying? The transparency that you have to be able to put forward. So, like, teaching all the T.Os about this stuff and holding them accountable, and also what it takes to manage a diverse demographic of people, ranging from age range to color to sexual orientation and everything. You know what I mean? Spiritual orientations, everything, bro. Like, you have to be so much more than just this person that, oh, I'm gonna just go ahead and plug in here and play these video games. Nah, bro. You have to be inundated. You have to understand the culture. You have to understand the people that are fresh in the community and the people that are old in the community. Like, it's so much more than what it used to be. So that's basically what we're doing now, and that's who I am. But you know, I've been in this for a minute now, and I'm constantly trying to evolve and be better, and not only as a person but as a TO and a businessman.
That's I'm just thinking before this before we started the podcast, me and Retro was just talking about like giving insight on how to, how to manage certain TO functions. And
Hmm.
you break down, you mentioned that your organization assists with helping TOs do that particular thing. And I'm like, we just talked about this. I'm listening to you the whole time describe it. I said, we just talked about this before this start.
Hmm.
How does that even happen? And like, yo, the karma in the air is wild, man, because we was like, okay, so during the cast, we could ask questions and stuff like that. So I'm glad you bring that up, and I'm definitely looking forward to production of that particular venture. But thank you again for joining us today for episode 3 of this new season. Yeah, we're trying something new with like filling out Google Documents instead of having to DM and coordinate with so many people.
Right.
But we will, but we have done that. If we got to do it, we got to do it. But here we are on season 2. I didn't think we'd make it to season 2, but I'm so glad that
Hmm.
people are accommodating and manage to take time out of their busy Sundays to talk with us and just fellowship over some fighting games, man. And just I hope this is just an informational bombshell that people can learn from and grow from and just try to expand their horizons. So last time we had in episode 2 we had OG on, who just got third. Shout outs to OG on at Frosty Faustings.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What I'm saying, with their lore, and just a kid, who won Frosty Foster 2 as well. And we had OG on and Metro M, who was a Vega player. So hold it down for episode 2, and their community leader, a TO as well, and they're
Hmm.
players. So the fact that players are out here doing work, and even you, CalmWarrior, I believe you got top 8 in CVS too,
CBS
right?
too, yeah.
Mm.
CBS
You know.
could have got higher. The last match was I didn't even know it was this Canadian dude that won the tournament the last time Frosty was around. Ran a coup or something like that. It
Mm-hmm.
was
Uh-huh.
WWD last hit, bro, and I had him
No,
beat. I
no.
had him beat, and I alpha countered too early. And because I alpha countered too early, he was able to block and not get a knockdown. Hey, bro, I'm mad. I'm mad about it.
Oh my
I'm mad
gosh.
about it, bro. I'm
But
mad
you had
about it,
finished
bro.
out in fifth, right? You was out in fifth.
Yeah, I finished the fifth. Yeah, I was out at fifth. I lost to him and I lost to Alex Bailey.
Oh man,
Hmm.
yeah. But
Yeah,
what I'm saying, you still had it, held it down. You still had a good
yeah.
time at the event. You know what I'm
Oh my
saying? That,
God, did I
you know,
have a good time at the event? Fool. These are not my words. This was a Canadian player's words. He was the one that won.
Mm-hmm.
Like Corey Yukin, he played top 6. He's like, Frosty Faustings is the final round of the North. And I was like, you're
Mm.
right.
Hmm.
It is. And I was like, bro, that is a really, really dope and apt description of it because it has this real down home feeling to it. And it
Mm.
doesn't have
mm,
that corporate feeling to it, but it's live, bro. And tight. The rooms are open all 24 hours. There's mad games to play. There's this open shit. Like it's crazy. It's really nice. Like when I tell you, the only thing that I didn't like about that tournament is that it was cold. And everybody's like, hey, stupid. They were like, hey, stupid. It's called Frosty Faustings. I'm like, bro.
hey, it's Frosty for a reason, yeah. You know what
Yo,
I'm saying?
family, I'm telling you, from Thursday through Saturday, bro, it was so cold outside. If you go outside, your fingers are burning.
Mm.
It was family. I'm trying to let you
Mm-mm.
know, B. It was so cold. I was running jokes talking about the weather is anti-black because this ain't shit for black people. Like, I was acting a fool.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of winter. Not a fan of the cold.
Nah,
I was like, I'll see y'all in
nah,
spring. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Y'all can keep the coldness.
bro. They had babies out there with no mittens on, no face coverings. It's like
Ooh.
they're raising Super Saiyans out there, bro. They're not raising regular people. This is not a real place. This is not a real
Uh,
place, son. Oh
Oh,
my
yeah,
god! But just
bro.
everything about it, though, dope. I can't sing enough praises. The customer service is high, the efficiency,
Mm,
everything about that shit is dope, bro. I love it. It's
good.
different as it's only a 2 day tournament, but it's so nice, man. It's so nice. Yeah, can't sing enough praises about it.
yeah, yo, big the final round of the North. Okay, I'm
Hmm.
Yeah,
definitely keep that in mind for
yeah.
the for the future. But you know what I'm saying? You know, if you guys want to check out the previous episode and you missed out on it, you know, you could go to Reboot Retrocade Gaming's YouTube channel, and it has the season 1 and season 2 playlist. So this one will be archived and uploaded for your viewing pleasure too, as well, within that channel. If you're missing out on the live broadcast,
Mm-hmm.
but we went to our first stop was in Kalamazoo, Michigan, from episode 1. Then we went over to Maryland in episode 2, and now we are here in California. Well, Dave, he's on the way back to California.
Yeah, I'm always
Yeah.
back,
For
right,
Frosty
right.
Faustings, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Back into
Yeah.
his warm weather over there, and you know we're at episode 3. So Dave, are you in NorCal or SoCal?
I'm in Southern California, but they don't
Southern,
call
okay.
like so. Just so you know a little bit. Like SoCal is really not considered where I am. SoCal is more like LA in that like LA region, and a little bit both east and west of LA, like Inland Empire and all those areas, right? I'm in
Hmm.
San Diego, so they differentiate San Diego a little bit differently. They
Mm.
don't call it SoCal per se, because we're literally like where I live is 20 minutes from the border, and like
Hmm.
I can go to Mexico any day of the week. You know what I mean? And start
Wow.
moving and doing stuff. Yeah, it's pretty nice. I won't even front on you, but it's expensive though. I can't, bro. We pay uh state tax and employment tax. Fool, it's a problem.
Mm.
hmm
Yeah, you living on that border. That's yeah, between going in there. But the fact that you could just go over there for like the weekend for something and then come back.
Bro,
Yeah,
easy, bro,
yeah,
easy. Just hit the road, go enjoy, go enjoy Mexico for a bit, and then come back. Well, it's dope. Can't even stop it. It's really dope. Really dope.
yeah. So yeah, I'll go ahead and dive into the first question, and then we could just kind of segue from there with the rest of what I
Uh,
got. But in order to understand the present, you know what I'm saying, we got to go back to the past, right? We gotta understand the origin
yeah.
of why something would happen to get to where you're at to this point today. So, what? Let me ask you this. I'll ask you this. Why? The question is why. Why would someone want to become a TO? Why
Hmm.
would you want to become a TO? Why would you want to dedicate your time and your resources to try to be a tournament organizer?
So me personally, or why would anyone you think in general, based off all the information and other TOs that I
Both.
talked about? Because I can answer both. I can give
Both.
you the personal answer. Okay. All right. So I'll start with myself. So I remember. So there's a local arcade in Florida called Grand Prix. Right. It's this place where you go, you get on go karts, and you kind of chill and play video games and all this other stuff. But it's a super dope place, right? They're hella fun. A lot of fighting games and different arcade games that are there. And I used to do it all the time, right? But you know, as you get older, college, life,
Hmm.
family, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? I had a kid, and I couldn't, travel to the arcade as much, and arcades were closing in Florida and stuff like that. And even in between that, and before that, there were game shops, and you talking about like Sega Dreamcast and PS2, and fools were starting to play at home, and like the SNES where we had like Championship Edition on there and all this other stuff, right? So like I wasn't able to play as much in the arcade, so I opened up my first tournament organizing thing and did um, Arcade Renaissance. So I started doing arcade renaissance events in Fort Lauderdale when I was in junior college. Um, Around that time, so doing it with my kids. So the reason at first why the very selfish reason at first that I wanted to do tournaments was to bring people to me that wanted to play fighting games because I knew it was there. Back then I didn't even know about Shoryuken.com. I didn't know that there was a hub of places like there's a difference between being in the FGC and playing fighting games. Like, so I was playing fighting games from before, but being a part of the fighting game culture is different. It is a whole different thing. It's like, oh, I street fight versus I learned how to fight in a dojo. You get what I'm saying? There's a science to this. There's no way that a regular dude that just plays fighting games can beat a dude that's been in the FGC for years. This is not happening. You know what I mean? Who has no idea about this culture. It just doesn't happen. A dude can run circles around it. So that's what it is, right? I remember back in the day, there was low barriers to entry because, it didn't cost that much, or you knew someone that had a room to rent, back when real estate wasn't that expensive and things of that nature. So, like, you were able to, do a tournament and get people to come and get like video production and all this other stuff. And it works because I was in college and I knew the college scouts, the ones that ran like the student interaction club and stuff like that. I got access to the room rentals and all this other stuff. So my first tournament was done with a group of guys that were super strict and wanted to do stuff on time. And bro, the FGC back then was worse. You know how it is now. Like right now, we're on like demon time as it comes to production, right? But back in the day, bro, if a tournament ended at 2 o'clock in the morning, man, that's just what time the tournament ended, bro. So like, it's so different. So I think that's the start for me. I wanted to bring people to me because I was a parent and I couldn't go to the arcade as much, and that's where the name for my initial company came from. It was Arcade Renaissance. You could Google Arcade Renaissance right now, and it'll bring up like Shoryuken.com stuff and tournaments. I did tournaments for years um, under that moniker before I had to move to a different state. You know what I mean? Took a job there and had to leave California. If I knew better, I would have kept on doing tournaments in Florida, like just flying back and doing them. You know what I mean? But I didn't have the resources or the mindset to do what I did. So it is what it is.
Now, what? No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, as my answer and my experience, what it's taught me in interviewing other T.Os and talking to them about this stuff, it's T.Os are like teachers, bro, or like parents. You have to be built for this shit. You can't just be a T.O. You get what I'm saying? It is not something where you can just do this because when you become a T.O., you become a de facto leader of your community. And the games that you play or choose to put in your events, the mannerisms of the people that are participating in your events, like you affect all that. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are like, no, you don't, whatever. Yeah, but you do, right? You do to some extent because what we don't like to do or we try to shy from is like, oh, no, we ain't leaders or whatever. And I'll put this question out there to you or anyone that's a T.O. Have you ever helped someone get a job? Have you ever counseled them through a bad situation? Have you ever given them money? Have you ever, you know what I mean, like given them a ride home? Have you ever connected them with someone in the community to train and so they can get better and place higher tournaments? Have you ever sat down and trained someone? Like these are all things that leaders do, right? And we never speak to who they are. And don't get me wrong, every leader is different, right? Because I might not be able to teach someone to play Tekken,
Right,
but
right.
I might be able to teach someone how to play Street Fighter. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's different.
Hmm.
So, or I can get you to the person that can teach you, how to play it and match your personality well together, or whatever the case may be. So that all that type of stuff for me is just like that's what a TO does. But
Mm.
we haven't valued ourselves properly, and that's another part of Six Button. Teaching people how to value their experience and their time and their labor that they put into this, so that they can, when they're asking for deals and contractual stuff, that they price themselves properly.
Mm. And most one of the most heartbreaking things that I don't like. I don't really like seeing in scenes is that people can't even tell you the name of the TO who ran the event. In some instances, they don't even know the name of the person who's running the bracket. They don't know the name of the
Mm-hmm.
person who put the event together. They show up, they pay their venue fee or their tournament fee, they play in the
Mm-hmm.
tournament, and then they just walk home.
Yeah,
And
and then
then
they're gone. And they're
so
gone. Yeah.
I just think we need to take time to know. It would help the TO. It would give them a sense of appreciation. That
Mm-hmm.
that they're running the event. But the fact that you can't name the person who ran your tournament, who's been running your tournament for like weeks and weeks on end, that's kind of
But
sad.
what is that? But what does that speak to, right? There's this thing that Ice Age and Josh always says is like we're no longer. That's why I said this is not a community anymore. It's a culture. Because how are you a
Mm,
part of a community and you don't know the people that serve you? You don't know the people that help you become great. How do you not know that person's name? Have you not broken bread with that person? Have you ever bought them food? Nothing. You don't know nothing about that person. Come on, family. That ain't community. That's culture. Community is something more deep rooted. There's connection. There's relationship. Relationship. Which relationship have you ever been in where you don't know the person's name, family? Come on, Bree. You
mm.
dig?
That's oh man, that's that's you're preaching to the choir, man.
Oh
They
yeah.
said, you even see like maybe in group chats, or maybe you be at an event. He's like, "What's the guy? The name that does the stream? What's the
Right.
guy? The name that put this together? Who?
Right.
Huh?"
Who? I've been
I'm
working with
like,
you for years, fam. You don't know my name? I bet.
"Oh, that's
Right.
that's not
Right.
that's not a not a good look for the players there, man." And
Right.
it's just
But Aaron, let me ask you a question. Have you never not given anyone money or fed them before at any of your events?
when we say give them money, like pay for the entry fee or something.
No, whether it's pay for their entry fee or get them food or give them actual money because they come to the event and they don't have enough resources.
Yes, that has happened before.
Thank you very much. That's all I need to praise God. We can move on.
Yeah, yeah, that's happened before, man. When you try to look out or try to do things to the best of your ability, and at times you might not feel like you're appreciated enough for it. Like you think about, is this worth it?
Right.
Being a TO, man, like you said, it's not for everybody. Not everybody can just pick up and do this, even if they have the money to do it. Some people look at it as a profit. Some people can look at it as they're not making enough profit off of doing this, and some people do it for the love of the community. And at times you're going to go into to the red or the negative about a gain, like any type of if you're looking for any type of gain from running the event, those numbers might not add up towards the end, but
Hmm.
and then they're like, well, do I need to keep doing this? And then they'll probably stop doing it or walk away or do something else. So
Right.
it's very important. I think that especially if you're listening to this right now, I think that next time you go to your local event, just go up to your TO and talk to them. Ask them how their day is doing. Don't just pay the money and just walk past them. I think that's disrespectful, yo. That's coming from me. Like I don't like that. Like you
But
come
there's
in.
Southern people though. That's why too, right? You know what I mean? Southern people are different. That's the thing. Like I don't know how many other places you've been to. Sorry to interrupt you, by the way, brother. But like the more you travel, the more you expose yourself to different communities within the culture that view things differently as a collective. You get what I'm
Mm,
saying? What you're
mm,
running into right now is like a community of people that are younger that don't have the social interaction skills that we had. Remember, you're a little bit younger than me. So like you were still outside though growing up. You understand? You knew about you gotta be in the house before the street lights get on. These dudes don't even leave their house no more, family. These dudes they got internet and gaming and Discord and all this other stuff. They don't most of these dudes do not go outside.
different era.
Different era. You
Mm,
understand? So like it's very different. Very, very different.
mm. And it's just and I realize now I see it. I see it. Like the social interactions are just they're not there. You know, it feels
Right.
like a mute thing where you walk in, you pay, you sit down, you play your match, you wait for your matches to be called, you play, you get eliminated for the tournament, you leave. You know,
Right.
it's not like the fellowship that used to be stronger. You know, as strong as it was back in the day. You know, people laughing and having a good time. You people you see like people in groups or clusters. You
Hmm.
know, you see those. I think that's a more common thing where you know people only talk to the people that they're comfortable with. They're not walking up to a stranger, introducing themselves and trying to network and make them feel kind of included in that at the atmosphere in that environment.
Right. Hmm.
It's just you know we're in a different time now.
Exactly. It's very different. It's very, very different. There's certain things that are just not as it was, like the social skills that we developed as children and young adults, are very different from what we currently adhere to. And that is just one of the things that you have to consider.
And retro. Let me put you on the spotlight real quick.
I'm sitting on the front pew right now of this church. Look, I'm just trying to listen to the pastor. That's all.
Hey, look, man, we letting the congregation speak up too, man.
Okay.
We're letting the congregation speak up with us, man. You're part of this journey with me, man. You know you're a TO as well too as well. You know you take care
Correct.
of your scene. You do a lot. Do you at times feel that way? Do you feel like you might not be as appreciated as you thought you were, or like how do you feel like when you run an event? So like while you're running events, or what you notice like from the community and players.
I, I would say yes. I at times have not felt appreciated for many people in my community. I felt both ways. Part of me at times is because I feel like an imposter syndrome, but at the same time, there has been, requests for or demands from the players like, "Hey, why you guys don't have this? Hey, why this is not happening? I want to see it like this or that way." It's more of the at times. Like I'll say early on in the early years, when we first started out around 2017, 18, there were a lot of, of demands of I want you to see me there. I don't like how this is played over here. Why you guys don't have this? Why you guys don't have blah blah blah? That type of stuff. I have had that, and it's died down lately, but numerous times, I have had that unappreciation where it's just not like, oh yeah, thank you for running this event, or thank you for doing this for us. It wasn't until pretty much shortly after, well, even I would say during, no, shortly after the pandemic, when the appreciation started to hit more. And I think part of the reason is that for me, And you could probably definitely feel free, CalmWarrior, to interject. But the point when
Mm-hmm.
I, even still I was felt unappreciated, I wanted to, I still just for some reason wanted to stay within the TO and do so. And I said the reason why, and what I think with me for me personally, in spite of the underappreciation, was I have two people that really gave me a lot of advices, and they're pretty much very essential. You may know them, Doki
Mm-hmm.
Sandwich and Mr. Annual or Coach, what they call them. Those two guys, they actually been around pretty much as maybe as not as long as you, but they know very familiar with many of the big, well known people in the community. Of course,
Right.
no, we have obviously Shin Blanca, which I'm very sure you're very familiar with, and
Uh-huh.
probably work with.
Mm-hmm.
But those two guys, Dogi and Coach, they gave me a lot of advices about
Mm-hmm.
knowing what I have to deal with if I want to invest myself into the community, where there are going to be
Mm-hmm.
people that are not going to care about what you do for them. Well, in the sense of, or rather, let me rephrase that. They'll be grateful for what you do for them, because they'll still come to you and say, I want this," and they walk in and leave and call it a day.
Right.
Mm.
I have and pretty much I have it. I've had that, but the appreciation has died down because last year was a perfect example. In the last tournament of last year, no, actually no, even before, there at final round 2019, where there were moments I felt appreciated, and that felt like it overcame the underappreciation when I went to final
Mm-hmm.
round because I planned the trip. We had 10 players, no more. We had actually had over 15 players from Middle Georgia that we went together to the trip to the final round. And I can never forget this because this was the gratitude that I received. It was where I was getting the hotel together, I got the finances, make sure everyone got the carpool in. We all rode
Mm-hmm.
together, even when we all competed and so forth. We cheered each other on, everything. I didn't care about winning at all. I would make sure that my players got a chance to go out there and experience outside the big scene. And I remember
Right.
went to the went to the sushi, the Korean barbecue, and
Right.
for me, I didn't have much money on me, and I'm sure they knew that, but because the part of it, I sacrificed so much, and because I have so much passion for the community, and I knew I was aware part of it, like I might not get much from this community or the culture or community rather, because
Mm-hmm.
I put much into it. I'm not sure they know that. So when I went to pay for my food, I know it's a lot, and one of the players like, no, no, you sit there, you're fine, and like, don't why are you paying for your
Good. I
food?
got you.
And I was
Good. That makes me want to cry. Let me interrupt you right there.
no,
That makes me want to
please, please,
cry,
please,
bro.
please do.
That
Oh,
makes me want
oh,
to cry, bro. Thinking about a man that you understand. Like there were people. I don't know if you remember her or not. She was on staff, Aaron, at Final Round back in the day. Her name was Angela.
Hmm.
Angela would come through, and Angela was one of those people on staff that came through and she helped do everything, right? But she would come through with a specific purpose. Like
Hmm.
her personal drive was to take care of everybody working. What do you want? You want Gatorade? What flavor you want? You want a bar, a breakfast bar? I got you. What do you need? And then she would
mm,
give like the best hugs, bro.
Hmm.
The best hugs just to be like, hey, are you okay?
Hmm.
What are you dealing with? All this stuff. You know what I mean? Like it was crazy. And that
mm,
level of appreciation for how you doing was one of those things that it made a difference.
Hmm.
No matter how much it's and you see, and that's the thing too, right? This is why I say you got to be built for this shit. Because if you're a regular person that thrives off of like compliments and reassurances and people respect you, nah, bro, this ain't for you. You know what I mean? But that one time where that one person out of 800 goes, hey, I see you and all the hard work and your finances that you put in to make this possible.
Hmm.
I appreciate you. Nah, bro, you're not paying for your food. Oh, you want something to drink too, bro? I got you. And it's like that's why one of the reasons, and you jumped in, Aaron. That's why one of the reasons I do the FGC economy talk.
Hmm.
I want to teach people to set up their businesses. I want to teach people to write off these expenses because within this culture, there are several businesses and business model. It's no longer just this hobby thing. That that hobby mindset is dead, bro. It's
It's gone.
dead. Let's top it. It's gone, bro. You
It's a
got fools out
business.
here. It's a business. It's a
Hmm.
business for some of us. You understand what I'm saying? You got people like Sonic Fox, bro. Before he was like 19, that fool had $250,000 worth of wins, bro. He had enough money to buy a house, and he was 19. Depending on where he was, he could have bought more than one home. You feel what I'm saying? Like we out here playing these games like this ain't some real life changing thing that we're a part of. People's
Hmm.
lives have been changed because of this.
Yeah. I,
You know what I mean? So like
um,
it's different.
I can t- I can testify a bit more since we're in church right now. If that's okay. I mean, of course, I tell. So the good thing about it, for me, is more personal because of coming from a background where I didn't feel like I belonged in a sense, and that's of course associated and found people, through gaming, and then in addition, with the FTC, and of course Shadows can attest to it, and I'm not sure. I think he was here. Yeah, he was here around the time it happened. But the fact I always keep saying that my FTC is family and FTC forever, whatever. And I was going to give you another example that happened lately. Our last tournament in December, we had one of the biggest turnouts ever. I never seen. It was ridiculous. We had 60 players to come out, and we had people as far as Florida actually came out for the tournament, and it was overwhelming for us. And we were like, "How are we going to get this together? How we have? We only got 5 people for setups and this." Everybody brought setups. This is where now this is not to argue about culture versus community. It was just the concept is that word you saw. I saw the word community actually live up to its name, the actual definition. Where I didn't say anything, and of course the rules are displayed there to bring your own stuff. But
Right.
we had so many setups from people brought up from all over, and people brought in so much money for the pop bonus. We were overwhelmed, and we filled up the entire venue of the arcade. And the thing is, in addition, the bartenders and the owner of the arcade, they were like excited because the thing is, our seeing this is testament to one thing, but what happened, of course, I think I'm sure if you remember on ShadowAce, before we started some of the matches or whatever, Jesh, one of the players, Jesh and the other TO called me over for some reason. I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, hey, so we would just want to let you know we appreciate you for all you done, blah 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 blah. And I'm sitting there, what? And they gave me my no one of the Sonic Frontier game. They gave me the Sonic game that I've been wanting for a long time because I couldn't afford it, and I almost
Right. Hold on. Wait. Stop. Let me ask you a question.
yes.
Let's see. This is where I'm gonna call bullshit. You couldn't afford it, or did you put your resources into doing something else? Like I don't know, running video game tournaments.
The latter. Um, yeah, the latter. Put more money. Well, also in addition to
Hmm.
with in my economic state, because
Right.
I spend also money more for gas and food. So
I get it, but you spend gas and food to get to the tournament too, right? See, that's the thing.
yes, sir.
That's why I teach people these financial literacy stuff, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
we don't even know how to properly value ourselves
Mm.
or track our expenses. I know for a fact, without even telling you, if you're a TO, and if I were to sit down with you and look at all your finances and the things that you put towards this, I know it is. Like even the mere fact that we're on this call,
Mm-hmm.
a portion of your internet, if not all of your internet, needs to be charged to your bill, your phone calls, your computer, the rent in your room. Like this stuff has a cost to it. You
Mm-hmm.
get what I'm saying? Other people aren't doing this with
Mm-hmm.
their money and their resources. So yeah, I respect the fact that they're like, bro, you're doing a lot. oldest game on us.
Mm-hmm.
Love. You don't got the bro. You're good. No receipts needed. You feel me? So yeah, I respect it, bro. But like,
Mm-hmm.
you do a lot. How many events have you done on the top of your guesstimation?
Actually, who's? Jeez.
The right. How many? Just guesstimate. Let's throw a number out there.
It's been for 5 years.
5 years. Stop talking. We're done.
Mhm.
We're done. How much money have you spent over those 5 years? You
uh,
think?
repeat that again.
How much money have you spent over those 5 years to do those events?
Oh God,
Yeah, enough to buy that game that you wanted, right?
that probably hundreds of copies.
Right. Right. That's
Right.
my point.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You dig.
Hmm. Yeah.
Get what he, I
Right.
get what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
He said you did. It's very appreciative for your community to do that. To get you the game, but the fact that you were in that state that you weren't able to afford something that you wanted to enjoy
Mm-hmm.
because you spent resources doing something else. You put that towards something else for the fighting game scene.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't able to afford that on your own, so you made that sacrifice.
Mm.
So I think the message of what David was trying to say would be like financial literacy, and I think that was a part of
Mm.
his courses that he teaches on T.O Talk. That's one of the things he and his group broke down during that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was another thing I was going to ask you too. That was actually going to segue into my next question for that real quick. But before I move on to that question, you guys want to finish wrapping up what you all were saying?
No, yeah. Please, Retro, please finish. I'm sorry I interrupted you, brother.
Oh no,
Go ahead and finish your thought.
dude.
Yeah.
I'm like part of me wanted me to make because like I said, I'm still learning, and like what you speak on about the financial literacy, definitely that's something I have to comprehend and definitely take heed about. But yeah, for many occasions it happened so much for the community did that I didn't.
Appreciation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and so yeah, of course I know I did argue initially that I wasn't. Now for a while, yes, I was underappreciated, but I think the amount of appreciation that has happened even to this day, it seemed like it outweighed more, and then the underappreciation, and probably speaks for why I'm still here because I can I'm pretty much everyone at some point I say even to this day who is a TO, especially they wanted to quit.
Pretty much everyone. Mm-hmm.
And
Go ahead.
we unfortunately at one point talked about an episode few episodes back, I think last season, about someone decided to put the reins down, give it to somebody else, and move on because it was a lot.
Right. It is a lot. Listen, if this was sustainable, why would something like Celtic Throwdown and KIT end in the same year?
Hmm.
Same year, bro. Within a year, both tournaments gone.
Hmm.
Gone. And it's small events. They're not like small events.
Yeah.
These are events where people were looking forward to on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
These are not small events. So you have to look at these things that if they were so sustainable, how is it so that they're not still in the running?
Yeah, and of course, obviously we had final round. Not
Right. Final round's gone.
Mm.
That doesn't feel good. Bro, I love final round. I love going to final round every year.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's gone. How do you think that makes me feel? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I used to go there every year and see y'all fools.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking to my friends over phone and over Discord. We don't see each other no more like we used to.
Right.
It hurts. There's a part of it that really hurts, and people in the culture, in the community, don't understand because they're unwilling to see it from their own selfish purview.
Mm.
You feel what I'm saying, bro?
Oh, I definitely feel you, sir.
Yeah.
Alright. That yeah, just all right. So let me dive into this other question here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we was bringing up T.O. talk earlier, so I want to talk about the origin of T.O. talk.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? How did it start? Who thought about it? Why? You know what I'm saying? I need to know the beginning, the origin story of that too. Because you cover
Oh,
a variety of different subjects in regards to FGC culture,
right.
and you've got a wide audience, a wide range of audience. I think it was one time I tuned in and you guys had over 100 and something listeners. You
Right.
know, so
Right.
you guys are able to captivate an audience. You're able to keep their attention because there's good dialogue going on, and to build something like that, how did that? I mean, how did it come about?
So you want to learn like the origin stories,
The
like the real
origin
deal?
story, like the because you remember you said it was originally based for the TO talk was basically based around talking with other TOs, like
Right.
other TOs within their communities, like that. So, how did your group come together? And Black Civilian, Ice Age, Aziza, like how did you all come together to create this team to make this happen?
Hmm. That's a really good question. All right. The first initial TO talk came about because um, you remember that year that Wolf Crone won Street Fighter 4? And
Is that the one he got DQ'd from his winner
yes,
side and he made the loser run?
yes, yes. So I'll find it for you and I'll tag you with it. There's a video I did on that explaining what happened that day. So that fool showed up to pools
Mm-hmm.
like 2 hours late. You hear what I said?
Mm-hmm.
He made it to top 32. He showed up 2 hours late.
Mm.
And it was after he had been DQ'd, he showed up. Listen to me. And I want to explain to you because y'all should be bracket connoisseurs by now. I played out the entire bracket to the point where the numbers couldn't move anymore. And that's when I DQ'd him. Do you understand?
Hmm.
Oh my gosh! You know what? I don't mean to cut you off, but that is another question that we was gonna that we need to discuss too as well. And I'm so glad that this conversation is flowing so well into these questions. So I'm gonna let you continue. Go ahead.
Yeah. So what happened is at the end of it, y'all remember, at least Aaron, you should remember Kaya, right? So Kaya was me before I became the head of the running the brackets and final round, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Running the entire event, like so Larry's chief of staff or whatever. So Kaya was out and he was watching the stream because we always back then we had to watch our streams because people would hack the stream and then put up like pornography or
Mm.
something stupid, you know what I mean? They would rickroll us, remember?
Mm.
Back in the day.
Hmm.
So Kaya was watching the stream and Kaya hit me up and he's like, yo, Wolfstone. And this was a year where, Capcom Cup was going on, Red Bull had sponsors us. This was the year where Cross Tekken, where Nerd Josh had won the $25,000 from the Cross Salt
Oh
competition.
yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
there were so many eyes on us. Wolf Crone got on stage and said, I won the tournament even though they tried to rob me and DQ'd me. And bro, he went off, bro. And back in the day, remember, quiet as kept, TOs didn't talk about the negativity within the community. We never talked about it, so we let him rock.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? 8 years later, a homeboy that was coming to my house that played games with us was like, hey, bro, y'all did Wolf Clone dirty, dog. Why y'all disqualify that man and make him have to fight all the way through losers? And this was around when George Floyd had died, and the FGC started to finally listen to the Black community members about all the work we put in, but we don't get the recognition and all this other stuff, right? So I was like, hold on, because I don't know if y'all know, because I don't do Reddit too much, but there was a Reddit page about it. There was a Reddit page about Wolf getting disqualified and how Final trying to, ruin his opportunities and all this other stuff. Clueless to that stuff because I don't know if you guys notice this as well. Your online communities have different cultures. So Facebook is different from Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter is different from IG. IG is different from Reddit and all these other places. And all of this stuff is all different from Discord. You get what I'm saying? So it's like it's completely different on every level. You get me? So I wasn't aware there was a Reddit about his, and like Justin Wong had did this Reddit about his experience during the event and all this other shit. So my friend made this post, and then this is COVID. I'm working from home. My hair is growing out. Like I know y'all see me now, but my hair is like fully braidable. You know what I mean? My hair touches my shoulders now easily, right? So I get out one day, and I was like, "Listen, man, I need to make a comment on a Twitter live." And I go, "Listen, let's talk about Wolf Chrome, blah blah." And I break it down, bro. It was like a 12-minute video about what was really going on. And everybody who was there, like Frankie, Justin, Noel, Mike Ross, Combo Fiend, all these fools that were there were like, "Yep, facts, facts, facts." That fool was playing cross Tekken all night and overslept and came to the tournament late because he was trying to win the $25,000 and he was trying to win Street Fighter. You get what I'm saying? So this fool was out here straight capping, fool. And he went on stream and said that. He went on our sponsored stream and said that, Aaron. He went on our sponsored stream and said that. And I was like, what the fuck, bro? So I just went off. So this is a time where I was getting used to using Twitter Live. So Josh would come on and talk with me every now and again. This was just us talking. And so the beginning of T.O Talks was that. And then I just started bringing up other stories, like organically. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this is what happened here. Or this is what happened when I left final round. Like I told that whole story. That was like a 2-hour thing. Because that was the year that where we used start.gg and Jay Bailey did that foolishness where he did the op-ed and, dropped the flyers and all this other crap. Look, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm starving. So this dude does all this stuff, right? And so I exposed the truth. And people, when you find it, go look through all the replies. Frankie even posts a video of when I decide to finally DQ him, and everybody starts going, "Yay!" And they start praising and getting happy about what happened because I took so long to disqualify him. Because he was talking about me. I was the one that was running Street Fighter that year. And we just took it to the chin, bro. So I was like, you know what? Forget this. This community always has some shit to say about us on Twitter, Facebook, how we ain't this, how we ain't that. But they don't ever know how to run the event. They don't understand the business. They don't understand the personal sacrifice. They don't understand the financial sacrifice. So I was like, all right, let me expose the truth. Let's start talking about it then. Let's start talking about those fools that show up late and ask to get put in the pool. Let's start talking about those fools that want to be moved from one pool to the other. Those people that go 3-0 and then they go, "Oh, I didn't know I was supposed to play a third time." It's a double elimination bracket. It's in the name. We're all mathletes. You know math. There's nobody in the FGC that's a dunce bat. You know what I mean? Like, what is wrong with you? So we were just, bro. So after that, that's what happened. So with each story that I started to do, I allowed the first person that I've been doing with this now for going on 2 or 3 years is Josh. Josh Isis, me and him have been working together since 2006 or 7. You know what I mean? Well, ever since I started going to final round, and this was when I was still doing tournaments in Florida. So I would go to final round, I would work there, and I would go back and do for the tournament. So it was a bunch of stuff going. So yeah, Josh and I started doing it, and then we just kept it moving.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
That's how it started, and then it kept on growing. And then, if you know anything about Josh and John's relationship, you know them two moved together like Batman and Robin. You know what I mean, or Superman or Batman. So John started jumping in the talks. Then they brought in JC, and then Aziza would listen in and like because Aziza has been like screaming on her microphone um, forever about issues going on in the FGC. And then for one reason or another, she jumped on and she would start talking, and then we just kind of clicked up, and it's been going on for a couple of years now. And that's it. Okay, and then I've had some other interviews like on Ultra 10
Mm-hmm.
when I went off talking about black issues in the FGC and fighting game culture and all this other stuff. But that was just me doing my thing.
Yeah, I had no idea. Like, cause this is like, yeah, this is way before I joined the community, the scene. But wow.
Yeah, yeah, man. Wolf Chrome was a menace, B. He menaced Street Fighter 4, and then he would do little things like that. And
Oh,
this was, you think back before Teal talks.
the only thing.
When did anyone ever talk about issues in the FGC? When did Teal ever talk about issues? We never did.
Yeah, the only thing I caught about him was, and I seen it live, was him and K Brad. That's the only thing I saw. But I heard,
Right.
yeah, but I heard some stuff about Wolf Chrome. Because I didn't get involved with the FGC, but I was aware of the scene around 2000. I'm an 09er, if anything. So I knew a little bit about the FGC, about 2010, 2011, shortly after Street Fighter 4, Super Street Fighter 4, and Marvel 3 came out and stuff. I started to know about those names. Yeah, I didn't hear too much of the drama behind it or the behind the scenes or what's really going on. And that stuff I didn't know until actually shortly after I joined, excuse me, the FGC. So that's when, and then when I started going to Gwinnett and to other places, I started to hear a lot of stories about, hey, this player, this person, he, she, they did this, and we're like, what? Like, and the people will be looking on the stream like, oh man, that's the greatest player ever. The person's awesome, blah 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 blah, and it's amazing. And then you go to the people who run this event. It's like, I can't stand that person, and it's like, well, what's going on? What happened? Well, 8 years ago, 12 years ago, this and this and this happened. They still did the same thing, like you were saying, and I'm like, oh. But
But the TOs don't talk about it, right? That's the issue.
now,
And that's one of the things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me add this one
no,
thing. I'm sorry
okay,
to interrupt.
no, you go. Go ahead.
My friend said, my friend would say, why weren't y'all talking?
Mm-hmm.
This is a business.
Mm-hmm.
You need, if someone goes into the social media space
Mm-hmm.
and speaks ill of your business, why didn't you guys go in and defend what really happened? There are two sides to a story, and then the truth is somewhere in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
There was never any side where the TOs would talk about what happened, whether it was a error on their part as the TOs
Mm-hmm.
or the players thing. There's a lot of times where fools are going to be in top 8 and top 8 got moved back or something that happened, and people are looking on at the on the stream or whatever, going like, "Oh, I wonder why this happened."
Mm-hmm.
Well, that player was off smoking weed for the last 15 to 20 minutes and try to get high to play their match. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's why your tournament got held up. You didn't know? Well, now you do. You know what I mean? But before, we'd move stuff around. We tell the commentators, to chatter. Like, there was a lot of moving parts in the back, and we had to keep on top of all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
people doing all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
It is. And so thankfully, for me, and I'll say also too, thanks to the advices from ShadowAce, Dogi, and many other coaching, many of the people that got help guided me within the scene, and I'll say also major shout out to T-Rex, who was one of the big smash T.O people in the scene, and if not even the state, they gave me a lot of stuff. And one of the biggest things is about, you can't take bullshit from people, and I learned that they maybe not in sense a hard. Well, no, I learned the hard way in a sense within our own scene, but it was a lot of bullshit that has happened within our own area, and quickly I had to learn that I can't tolerate it. I can tell you if I can just tell you, it's stuff that even was definitely with out, like almost with authorities. It's stuff like that has happened, but it was where it was done
All
in
right,
a.
stop for a second. Stop. You're doing it right now. You're perpetuating the culture that we help create. Do you see how you're in a business and
Mm.
someone came to your event knowing the rules and knowing the laws of the country, broke them, and you're going, yeah, they did some messed up. Nah, bro, expose them,
Oh no, they're supposed.
put it
Oh,
out there because, but no, here's why, right?
mm,
Look what happened during COVID. Look what happened during COVID with all these sexual assault issues and
mm-hmm,
all these, grooming issues and
mm-hmm,
all this other stuff that went on within the FTC that no one talked about. And because we didn't talk about it, where are we now? Now we're on the what is it? The Washington Post. I mean, we hit the news, bro.
mm-hmm,
As a culture, we hit the news that a bunch of kids aren't safe at our events.
mm-hmm,
Oh, yay. That's great for me. I'm a parent of two. I have a daughter and a son. Yes, I should absolutely bring them to the FGC. Not.
mm-hmm. Oh no, they're supposed. They're supposed.
Okay.
Oh no, it's done. It's like that. It's resolved. And not that I didn't was going to keep it quiet about it, because the thing about it, when it happened and I caught on, I got every single information that was needed about them, submitted to
Mm-hmm.
the proper people to handle it, and told everyone.
Authorities, I'm assuming.
Correct, definitely. Oh, okay. I'll say it's FBI.
Yeah. Why are you shying around that? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
When these people are our customers and they're paying for access to our events to play, an understood issue should be safety.
Right.
Financial safety, physical safety, sexual safety, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
No one should be coming into our events worried about either getting robbed or getting scammed or getting manipulated or finessed or whatever, bro. No one should be worried about that. And as a TO, see, that's the thing I keep on talking about.
Mm-hmm.
People don't understand that we're responsible for that too,
Oh yes,
because
we are.
you're the leader of that event.
Yeah. Uh,
They don't think about that.
they don't. You know.
But
And
let them have a
go.
bad experience. They're not gonna come and talk to me. The first place they're gonna go to is the social justice warriors on Twitter or Facebook or IG. Or, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And talk shit about you. This shit's crazy. Crazy,
Yeah,
bro.
because the
Crazy.
thing, yeah. I said actually, Big Boss is DP. He's in our chat right now. One of our other TOs. And he can tell you that how I actually don't take a lot of bullshit. I may do it in a way that may not seem like I tell the whole world about it, but since I do, I should. I mean, I should, and things I did, but and it's where.
Here's why. Here's why.
Mhm,
Stop. Sorry, I keep on interrupting you because this is something now
mhm,
that I'm so passionate about. It's not about you even exposing them. It's about because here's the thing. They'll mess up a year tournament and they'll drive 2, 3 hours or wherever else to go to another event, and that other TO doesn't know because you're within your community, but they're still within the culture. You get what I'm saying?
mhm.
Because they're within the culture, they'll pull up to somebody else's shit, do the same foolishness there, and we're not talking about it because we're not connected. That's another thing with SPI, right?
Mhm.
The 6 button initiative. We're gonna be so connected East Coast, South, whatever, as a culture, that we're going to be moving on like collectively. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's gonna still be an individual, everyone, but you know what? We're all gonna have financial literacy. We're all gonna do marketing. We're all gonna have a TO, curriculum vitae or certain whatever vitae, a CV basically. You know what I mean? We're all gonna be moving in this way where the mean average business acumen is gonna be so high that whenever people are dealing with us, it's gonna be like, whoa, let me be careful how I move here, from businesses to the community members, and that's going to be important for all of us. Because, bro, why aren't we filling up stadiums yet? And we're the most raw and authentic group out there. Everything else is manufactured and very, washed, as you can
Mm-hmm.
assume. I'm in mixed company, so I can't really say what I want. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm definitely listening. And yeah, I would agree with it because because I said once since I've been the TO, that's when I started noticing some of the behavior and within the community is like, why are you sweeping this underneath the rug? And this is the hush hush thing about for example, the story about what happened to the MK9 like Atlanta scene. What happened with that where the person got arrested for drugs and stuff like that? It a lot of time felt like a lot of things felt like it's been hush hush versus hey, let people know that this person did this. We're not going to do this again. And of course, 2020 was another example when a lot of exposure for what happened to some of these big, players and TOs and whatnot, were on, especially on social media. It just blew up, and it was like this burst. So now, I'm not sure from your perspective. For me, probably because I'm just starting to see more of it now, bit by bit. People start calling each other out on a lot of mess that even happened years ago, and start saying, you know what, we can't do this anymore.
Right. Look what happened to Wiz, bro. Look
Right.
what happened to Evo and Wiz. Look how many people moved away from Evo as a corporation
Mm-hmm.
because of what happened. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't matter when it happened. That stuff with Wiz happened over a decade ago. But you were molesting kids, bro.
Mm.
You were creating serious emotional damage, trauma.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be the head of an organization that kids still go to today. What? No, absolutely not. You're not qualified.
Right.
You're not qualified. No. So that's the thing. And all we like to do is just keep it hush, but keep it hush for who? For what? For what reason? What is the purpose of keeping quiet? You know what I mean? That's some old black people shit where they're like, oh, leave my name out your mouth. Shut up with that.
Mm-hmm.
We're a business. Yeah, when it comes to family business, sure. I'm not going to tell you what my grandma did or Nana did. No problem. If Nana was a hoe in the streets, then that's our business. But if Nana went to work and
Mm-hmm.
did some stupidness at work, everybody needs to find out about it.
Yeah. Because
Period.
especially for those who've been victimized, because then unfortunately for them, that trauma really builds up, and the more unfortunately they see that where no one is speaking up about it, it's going to heavy weight.
Hmm.
It weighs so much on them, and
Right.
God knows what happened to that person. Was like, hey, they did this to me. What can I do? Where can I go? Who can I talk to? Whatever. And then everyone, and who, especially, I say for us, yeah, even if, at time, even if I say that, even for me, that, that said, well, I make sure I talk to the people, blah, 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 I'm also so, held responsible, accountable, because, and I could still be, in trouble for if I knew about something and I don't say anything to anyone else.
Right.
You know,
Right.
we have to share. We have to learn to share that responsibility, and because nobody's perfect. But for those understanding that if we can do better to learning to expose and not be afraid, and I think that the biggest one is fear. And I have seen it myself, where there were players that has were that everyone like I said, Will Chrome example. But yeah, there's players even to now that don't want to say anything because this player is so good at that game. And actually, I had to
Right.
talk with one of our TOs. I'm like, no, I exposed this player. You know, he's gone. You know, he's gone now. But I exposed the player, and one of the TOs was like, "Hey, well, I don't know what's this happening." I'm like, "No, I got rid of him because this person was threatening and doxing people and talking about minors and all that type of stuff in a derogatory way. No, this going and you see like the person had 1,000 viewers and followers or whatever. And for me, personally, I do not care how good you are as a player. I don't care if Poke Chop, if Daigo or anyone, or if I don't care how good you are. I don't care if you're the god of gaming. If you are not treating people, if you're not being a human being, and you're not being a good human being to other people, you're gone. You're out of the culture, out of the community. No, because you're not
Right.
reflecting of what the culture and the community should be. That's the thing. So I am learning it. I'm still learning to speak out more against it, and it took me some time because I was the person that kept quiet because unfortunately things happen in personal life that I kind of reflected in my FGC life. But since the FGC life kind of people in the FGC that really said pushed me to start speaking out more, and of course with therapy and other personal things I learned to take care of myself, I became more valiant and addressing issues. Because people I know that in general, no one don't like to deal with confrontation or deal with being uncomfortable. They don't like that type of feeling, and I realized that. But I learned to put. But I have people within the community that are real with me and say, you know what, Kirk, you're too soft. You're too passive about this. You're getting my nerves because you're doing that, and you need to do that. Like, you know what? As much I did not like to hear that. It was where it felt like a stung, but it was like, you know what? You're right. I have to do this.
Testing.
Oh, you're good, man.
Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I know you was in preacher mode. You know what I'm saying? You was preaching to the choir. Let me join in for you.
No.
Let me interrupt real quick,
Oh,
and then I'll let you
please.
finish cooking. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
You mentioned non-confrontational, right? Or people don't want the T.Os didn't want the confrontation. That's why they kind of sweep it under the rug, right? Now that was actually one of the questions that I was going to ask was why DQing top players, and like why are T.Os afraid to take action against top talent? Is it because they're going to lose viewership? Or people are not gonna mess with their event if they go to social media and say they got DQ'd at an event? Like,
Well, okay, I'll give you a perfect. If I may, if you allow me to jump in on this one,
Yes,
because I've been at
please.
this a lot longer than both of you. You have to
Respect,
understand
please.
that the FGC is the mob, right?
the mob, yes.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you gotta understand that also it's a Bible verse, right? There's a Bible verse that says, "Whoever complains first will seem like they're right." You know what I'm saying? So if they go to social media first and go, "This TO sucks" or "This tournament sucks," don't trust them, don't believe them. They treated me unfairly while you know the truth about what really happened. By the time you go to speak, which is an hour or 2 weeks or whatever later, because remember, you're not seeing it, you're not following Twitter when you're running an event. You can't. You don't have the time to. So what these dudes do is they go out and they bash the event so that whatever you say doesn't seem like it's real. Like, let's be real, right? I'm not going to get too much into it, but look at the Arturo Maturino situation. Maturino let somebody go from their job because they did something wrong. And Arturo's like, no, they're the ones that did something wrong. And now you have naysayers and yaysayers saying, hey, this happened and that happened. And it's like, bro, what are you talking about? Why would the company release someone if they didn't make a mistake? An egregious one of that with money. And you have proof. You've seen it. You've seen that man do these things, right? Allegedly. But like, this is the reality that we're currently living in where, the social clout is more important than the truth. So yeah, in order to avoid the drama, we would just keep quiet. You know what I mean? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I just wanted to let you know that like we sitting here talking about this is the exact reason why TO Talk started. Because people were talking way too much shit. And it was just that shit.
Mm-hmm.
They were literally talking shit. They weren't saying truth. They weren't speaking from a place of knowledge. People would come out and just say something and it sounds informed. But if you don't work in a particular industry, if you don't understand the deep meaning of stuff, and that's the thing too, right? Americans are not as educated as we like to tell ourselves. We're not.
Yep.
People don't know stuff. They think they know stuff. You understand what I'm saying? They're not doing any research. They're not studying. They're not making themselves more informed. They watch more TV than they read books. Please sit down. When someone who is truly educated about a subject matter, sit down. And then you know what it is too? The more educated you become, the more you don't know. You don't know what you don't
Ooh.
know.
The more you
Yes.
know,
You
the more
don't
you
know
don't
what
know.
Mm.
Ha.
yeah,
Okay.
the more you know, the more you realize you don't know things.
Mm.
You don't know what you don't know.
Mm.
So like the reality of the situation is so like these people are out here and they're talking stuff you know like I'm only using Arturo because that's the most recent drama that we're dealing with. Look at what's his name, the Jason Whitlock of the FGC now, stupid ass fanatic came out trying to defend Arturo. I'm like, bro, Arturo, what I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? I'm an accountant and I've been an accountant for 25 years. This is my job. I catch people that do embezzlement. I am telling you that this is what this man did. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you I'll fire people for messing up a $3 bank. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Oh no, I did interview Maturino, but I promised Maturino, Grant, and Brian that I wouldn't speak about the details of our conversation publicly. What are you talking about?
Mm.
Oh, I'm gonna show you everything that Art did and blah 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 blah. Art's coming out there talking about, oh, they're not good for the FGC. Really? Because Bum ran a tournament where $17,000 were drummed up for his event, and he paid that dude out while he was on a plane on his way back to France. What? What are you talking about? If they were so bad for the community, why are so many people being affected positively? They're not the best,
Mm.
for sure. There's other things that need to be done, but the reality of the situation is this: we need to understand more, and that's why I started to educate through my podcast. That's why I started to talk more about these things via my podcast, because the people that have been in this for long enough understands the inner workings. People don't understand that sometimes commentary. Listen to me when I say this. The most popular commentators be hitting TOs over the head for like 5 racks to
Mm.
do production. Production is coming out charging anywhere from 10 to 15 racks, if not more. And this was years ago. Who knows what they're charging now, depending on what services that you elect to have at your event. You get what I'm saying, bro? So
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, these people. So like what I'm telling you, like when people are talking about, oh, I'm only paying. Why do I have to pay $50 for an event? About because you asked for security, you asked for internet, and you asked for production,
Mm-hmm.
and you asked for several games. You asked for the best lagless monitors. You asked for this is why.
Just.
This is why. This is why.
FGC economy.
You understand? You dig?
Mm.
You dig? These fools out here running their mouth. They don't know what time it is, son. Huh? No, don't. I don't listen to these people, bro. And you know too, right? You gotta understand some of our culture. These are just college kids or just kids, bro. They don't even know how much they cost. How you gonna know how much a tournament costs? You don't even know how much you cost. You don't even know where you fit into the whole American economy. Please shut up.
No, no.
Hold on.
No.
Hold on. You just say hold on. You said Hold on, repeat that last bar.
Please.
Repeat that last bar. You
How do you know how much a tournament costs when they don't even know how much they cost? They don't know how much.
Oh my
Come on, bro.
Come on. Talk to him. Talk to him. Talk to him, man. Talk to him.
Where's the organ you needed?
Message. You don't know how much you cost. Yo, come on, bro.
Come on, man. All they know is how much. Listen, I deal with people from 18 all the way up to 70 that have never budgeted in their life. All they've done is earn money. They don't even know themselves how they're going to retire. I've had women in my class that said, if it wasn't for my husband, I would not be able to live right now. Because their husband was the one that was more financially literate, the one that set up the 401k and the retirement accounts. And it's happened time and time and time again. You expect me to believe that a 21-year-old kid who's shouting into the ether knows exactly what art did? Please, man, come on, bro. Stop it. Stop it.
Madness.
Madness. It's just difficult, bro. It's difficult. And then, you know what I mean? And like, let me just add this one part on it too, just so that you're covered and we're covered, is that there's a potential legal component to this. So yeah, I put the word in there allegedly, so that I am covered, so that you're covered, so that we don't say these things, because then anything that we do online or we do on Twitter or whatever the case may be, bro, that stuff can be brought up in court. That's real shit. You remember, you know how you can walk around and videotape public spaces and things of that nature? Because that's their first, what is it, First Amendment rights and all that other stuff? Bro, all this stuff ties back to federal law. And these kids are out here thinking it's a game until you get pulled into a courtroom and then go, hey, do you remember this tweet you made back in 2016? What did you mean by this? And where was your headspace? So, yeah, I don't listen to those people. I really don't. So you just got to keep your truth and speak on the things that you know and what you witnessed, because if you don't, you know what I mean, it's going to be all messed up.
Your event is on the line.
Yeah, your
person,
your
you yourself is on the line.
Right. Because these people will sue you directly. Not your company, not whatever. They will sue you. So
don't. Big boss says, "Put the foot down. Put the foot down." But he's right, man. It's just, you know, in certain situations, you know, players can sort of think they can get away with a lot, and they have. You know, in the past events, we've seen it. We've seen a lot of scenarios where players can kind of do some dirt, some grime, and you know, who's going to call out XX player because they're the best Chun-Li in the world, or they're the best Alex player in the world. Who's going to call them out on what actions they're doing unless somebody speaks up, you know? And then all of that stuff gets swept onto the rug until it festers and, you know, piles up, and then over time it spills over, and then now you got this big mess, this big nuclear fallout because past actions have been forgiven, and then it's only now when someone wants to take action against that particular person because of a collective hive mind brought it to light. To that one person brought it to light. Well, this person did this, that in the past, and you know they did this, and you guys are just now getting onto it. That shit would have to be nipped in the bud, like right when it happens. Like you can't let it spread. You know, it's like your health. You know, if you go into the doctors regularly, getting checkups and things of that nature, you're good. But if you haven't done anything over time, you know, you may wait too late, and if you should have acted on this sooner, you could have caught this, that, and the third. So it's to the mindset of T.Os. You know, a T.O. will have to be willing to, you know, put their foot down, put the trigger down, you know, pull the trigger, because it's only thing they would have to worry about, again, like you said, the fallout from saying don't go to this event and, you know, stuff like that, and they DQ'd me, or you should have seen this person here, and you know, it's a lot for T.Os to deal with. So at the end of the day, it's more or less of, are you going to be willing to, like Big Boss DP says it? He said, put your foot down. Don't let it slide.
Right.
Don't let it slide, because I promise you, it will get worse over time.
But
It will.
listen, we got retro that's on here now. That's like, and that's the thing, right? Like I said, all of this is in SPI. But let's talk about it. Retro's in here right now speaking his truth, right? That's
Yeah.
why I never interrupted him when he was talking. He's like,
Okay.
I don't want to be confrontational. I don't want to. But hey, guess what, bro? Heavy is the head that wears the crown. You're the leader of their event. You must get confrontational
Yep.
because you have to protect your community within the culture.
Well,
And one monkey don't run no show, bro. One monkey can't run no show, bro. Kick that fool to the curb, son.
yeah, because well, since it's already out there, we had players that invaded the Capitol riot. That's
Hold on, say it again.
yes, that actually happened, and they invaded. They did the unfortunate invasion of the Capitol riot, and the best part about it, that's a sarcastic way. They took pictures of themselves, video of themselves, and I saw them, and I was like, okay, cool. Well, guess what? Y'all guys are off. Information submitted, and I not only after that I submitted the information to the authorities, the FBI. I also, in addition, posted to everyone in the community and say, hey, these are the people who did this. They are no longer welcome in the community or the culture at all. They're gone.
All right. Right. Because here's the thing, right? You might do that for your culture, but they might thrive in Texas. If you know what I'm saying, because that's a part of the culture. We're allowed
And then,
to have
and that's something for the
opposing views
Texas scene to deal with.
Yeah,
Texas
you know
will
what I
have to
mean?
deal with it.
But the whole issue is that you see that's the thing, right? Like you got somebody in here like Gutex that doesn't believe that COVID's a real thing and that you can take this medication and then you'll be fine, right? And the FTC is like, bro, what are you talking about? I've had family members die from it. Please be more considerate. We love you, Gutex, blah 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 blah. But you're turning out to be a real piece of garbage, right? But like, why does someone who has an opposing view automatically have to get kicked out as long as it's not hurting anyone? Now, as for the people that went to the White House, I don't know if you guys followed it, but there was a documentary called "The Year After January 6th," where they talked about the Capitol police officers that have committed suicide, the amount of people that were really injured during their because if you've not noticed, a lot of news have been hushed on that. A lot of the news have not been really transparent and forthcoming about the real damages of what happened. People wiping feces on the wall of the Capitol building, doing all this crazy stuff, stealing computers with national secrets and all this other and you were there doing what? Oh, we some of the people just thought it was a sightseeing trip. Really? Really? Sightseeing? All right, partner. You're right. I don't even know what I'm talking about. You are clearly right. I am an idiot, sir. And this is what we should do when we go to national events and buildings and where the leaders of the free world are there. You should have direct access to them because that's safe. Yeah, me as John Q, someone who's never been background checked by the FBI or anyone, should directly have access to Nancy Pelosi. Bitch, if you don't sit your stupid ass down somewhere, this is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I respect why you did what you did because you know what, them feds were looking for those people. You understand what I'm saying? You did.
But also the thing, because what's going to happen eventually if I even kept quiet about it, either they figure it out or it end up coming straight to us, and we'll have to deal with the whole situation. And we'll be like, because that's the other thing too, that I tried my best to try to keep a lookout of what's going on outside of our area, and because because there are people that be like, I ain't gonna worry about it. It's not gonna happen to me. And even if that was not the case, the point is that you have to look at it and say, you saw what happened to this event, right? Let's learn from that and not do that, And that's why I'm learning. I am learning. I'm still in the process of learning of why I try to take advices from people outside of our area, and I try to push, our people within our area to go out and learn and so forth, because you never know what you're going to experience, and how that experience from other people can help us and can come back to and help us, because
Oh, absolutely. Diversify your understanding.
right.
Deal with other people. Do 2K tournaments. Do esports tournament. Do collegiate leagues. Do everything. Because the more you learn, and you never know who you're going to meet. You might meet that one person that gives us access to funds that completely turns the culture around. And now we're on TV. Bro, we were on TV at one point. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh
We could
yeah.
have way more money coming into the FTC right now.
Dang.
Way more money. Way more money.
Hmm.
But look who has it. Fortnite.
Yep.
Bro, a 16-year-old won what, $12 million?
I would never forget
Bro, what are
that,
we talking about?
bro.
What are we talking about right now, bro? Fortnite is what, like maybe 7 years old, 8 years old, or some shit like that? We've been around for decades, bro.
It's still really it's still really actually gets me to this day, because I can tell you, funny thing about it, I'll reach to you, big boss, but yeah, the thing is about it is that I get a lot of people that would say, hey man, I do this and do that, I play this and play that. Why are we not getting all this stuff? And of course, I mean, obviously, to your credit, CalmWarrior, and even you, ShadowAce, that you have seen people that say the exact same thing, is that, they keep wondering why we're not getting enough resources and money, blah, blah, blah. And then, we talked about it in the very first episode, actually, of the podcast, whereas it's so, and it bothered me, because how did we, of all people, somehow scare away a billion dollar franchise that was going to give us free food in addition to a tournament, and we yelled at them because they did a tournament that was going to be similar to us, and instead of embracing it, we cursed them out. And this is where this is the 4-4 incident when they cursed out Coca-Cola Gaming. And that was and the Coca-Cola was like, we was going to do this for free, we going to do this and this, and Coca-Cola, literally next door neighbor, that has billions of money, that literally we could have been like, and then in the same time, this is where I preached about it in one of my other episodes, and I got very critical about it, is where these people, they criticize and lash out so much against, some these people. Yes, we understand that maybe not all the esports or companies, whatever, may not understand the culture. This is where the point that we should help educate that versus eradicate that.
Educate versus eradicate. Hey, yo. Okay.
Right.
Because
okay, Retro, go ahead. You got it.
Because like I said, we're, and Dogi, and to credit Dogi Sam's quote, we've been going around in circles for so long. This is over. What? So how old? I would say right now the FTC, or the culture of it, is now pretty much 3 decades at least.
Yeah, it's as old as Street Fighter, if not longer.
Right, correct. So, and here we are, and I would not deny that we're pretty much the most vocal, and even I'll say more consistently supportingly our own games. Because even if the games are really terrible at a point, and I would say as bad like Street Fighter 5 at launch, for example, we still supported that game. We still were vocal about it, and we still have hopes for it, to where we still try to spread the word to support the game. And and logically, you would think that type of support and outreach and everything would be rewarded with a higher resource payout, whatever. And it's like, we're still getting at the most, maybe a couple, maybe not a couple not a couple $100,000, maybe like tens of $1,000s. Whereas, like you said,
Right.
with Fortnite, they're millions, League of Legends,
Right.
millions and so forth. And then if we turn around and look at why the FGC is not getting in that level, you still have this part of the unfortunate part of the culture that is still, dragging down on everything, and and like I said, because we keeping quiet about it, here we are again. At this point, we're crabs in the barrel.
Right. And that's the reality, right? You think about what you just said, because actually, I need y'all to send me a link on this Coca-Cola thing because I wasn't aware of it.
Oh,
Um,
I was in episode. I actually found some of the tweets. Some of them were deleted, but I found some of the tweets that were part of that part of the discussion. But you definitely can definitely, like I
Yeah,
said.
that was a huge opportunity fumbled there for
please, we
that
just
particular
fumbled the
scene.
bag.
Yeah, that was.
We, I don't
Out.
know if you were listening to it. Hold on, let me get this out. This,
Mhm.
remember when we were talking to Lupe, right? Lupe
Oh
had come in. Yeah, you
yeah,
understand what I'm saying?
I remember
And
that.
Lupe literally in the middle of the talk was like, bro, the way that y'all are acting right now, not truly understanding what's going on. He's like, bro, I'll never fuck with the FGC again, bro.
Hmm.
He said it in the middle of our conversation. And I'm like, and then he's like, yeah, that's great. But then here's a drama, right, that we have to deal with as T.Os. The FGC will kick out true investors, whether they be
Yes.
angel investors or VCs,
Yep.
right, that
Hmm.
have a good
Yep.
background, and then turn around to the TO and go, why you ain't giving us more bonus money?
That,
Bitch,
that was
Wow.
that was it. Thank you.
Yo.
bitch, are you out your
Message.
mind? Bro, they be out here bugging,
Message.
son. They be out here bugging, bro. Bugging.
That is it. That's it.
Bugging,
Chasing
son.
away, yo. Chasing them away because of the
They
mentality.
they
Chasing
chase
them
away
away,
the
yo.
money. Bro, they chase away the money and then they leave the 12 or so. Let's say there's a one TO in every state, so that's what, 51 regions. And then, the other major ones that don't count because they've elevated to a certain level, they leave it, there's thousands of people involved, and they leave it to maybe 100 people to figure it out how to make it happen rather than joining with us so that we can have a louder voice. We're just dumb, bro. Fully dunce. Fully dunce, bro.
Hmm.
I have no problem saying that. And I realize, right? I'm not bragging about it tonight, but people don't argue with me. I don't argue. Here's the thing: I don't suffer fools 12. I don't.
Hmm.
So if a man comes to me with knowledge and wisdom and whatever, we'll have a conversation. But if you're fully done, so you're trying to argue with me from a sense of emotion, I'm gonna light your ass up. Don't be fully done so you come talking to me, bro. Don't do it.
This is why I'm glad I don't. I know that I don't know. I'm glad that's why you're here as our guest, because I told ShadowAce ahead of time. I know that of course, we're both mainly TOs involved and so forth. I might talk more, but I'm here. I just want to learn because, like I said, I don't know. I might say what I think my perspective of things, but I want to learn from your perspective because the thing is, you've been there. You've been around way longer than many of us has. Many our majority of people know you
Before I came into the FGC.
right. Many of us combined, and
Right? A lot of y'all combine for real,
but
and but they don't know because let me add this to it too, right? It's
please,
so funny. It's like similar to the rap culture, right? We have so many parallels with so many other similar cultures
we
where
do.
you see the young people that are coming into the scene that don't respect causality. And what does that lead to? That
Ooh,
leads to you not respecting your OGs. You don't respect the people that paved the path so that you can do what you do. Everybody's like, oh, we
DJ,
play so optimized.
DJ
We play so
academics.
optimized. Right. Look at like a DJ Academics. We
Mm-hmm.
play so optimized now because we used to play so freestyle. We
Hmm.
were more imaginative and we were more carefree. Now you guys are teching right, waking up slowly, blocking on wake up and all this stuff because you know what? We used to DP on your wake up. We would hunt you when you were waking up. And motherfuckers like, you know what? I've had enough of this shit. I'm just gonna block. Like that's what optimization. Because we were wild out here, bro. We were doing and one videos on you in match. We were dunking, we
Yeah.
were dunking, and we were all by ourselves, bro. We were doing tomahawk. We were out here stunning on fools, bro. I remember where we grew up at in Florida, where we were learning how to play, bro. It
Mm,
wasn't just enough for you to win. You had to win clean.
mm-hmm.
You can't just do no accidental wins. Bro, we'd be dragging the shit out of you if you hit a
Bro.
button and that shit didn't make no sense.
Yep.
It's like, nigga, did you just fierce on a wake up? Bitch, you sorry at what, bro? We would drag people, bro.
Look.
We would drag people. But you know what? They don't got no respect for OGs now. And I blame YouTube and I blame the internet because they have so much more access to
Hmm.
information without the personal guidance that comes with it. So I'm like, all right, bro, y'all got it, bro. That's why you're growing so much more quicker than when we were doing it, right?
Uh-huh.
Because everybody that's bringing money into the scene right now on a high level is an OG. There's no newcomers. If I'm wrong, show me. Anybody that's making money right now for the culture is
Hmm.
an OG. Everyone that's making money for themselves is a newcomer. Prove me wrong. Where's a newcomer right now bringing money into the scene?
Who does it for the scene?
Yeah.
Who's doing it for the scene, or for the
Yep.
scene, or for themselves?
For the scene. Tell me a new
For
player right now that is bringing money into the scene as a whole, or even for a game that they love, like Marvel or Street Fighter Five or Uniplayer or DNF or Smash. Nah, bro, those are the OGs that are doing that, and y'all still talk shit to us. Like, god damn, bro, what else do we have to do? And that's why a lot of these dudes have bowed out silently. You know how many OGs we lost that could have done greatness for us even now in this era? Because y'all don't have no manners and respect. And by y'all, I mean the young ones that don't have manners and respect, not the ones that do. Because I have to be clear about that because people don't have common sense and proper comprehension skills when communicating. You know what I mean? Like, this is like, bro, it's stuff like this. It's stuff like this I'm talking about, bro.
Mm.
That we're just fighting against the ignorance every day, and that's why I educate rather than scream on people.
message, there it is, man. That's just like we said in the middle of the cast. Two different eras, two different generations. This is what we have to deal with now. We are in a
Mm-hmm.
completely different timeline, and to be fair, we can't go back to those days.
Mm-mm.
We can't make things like they were back in those days because we are officially in a new era now. When the new era changes, it's going to be something different, and
Mm-hmm.
then that's when the FGC meta is going to shift again. So, with that being said, when I hear people make comparisons about how things used to be, how things used to go, this, that, and the third, I'm like, okay, you're right. Things, the comparison is there, but the reality is this is what's happening. This is what we got to deal with now. And how do we improve that culture so that the next generation can, improve on what was going on now versus always trying to compare something to something that won't ever happen again, right? The majority of OGs back then, they're late 30s, early 40s, even 50s now. So these are guys that are definitely passing on the stick to the next generation. And our generation, we're fading out too. The late 20s, the early 30s, the mid 30s, like we're on the verge of passing the sticks down to the younger generations, the 18s, the early 20s, the under
Right.
25s. That's another generation. So it's just gonna keep going. The cycle is just gonna keep repeating
Retro.
itself. So
Retro.
yeah, we're
Do
not.
you have a
We
hold on?
can't go back to those days.
Right, listen to this, right? Retro.
Yes.
How old are you right now, brother? If I can give me an age range.
I'm
Don't tell me exactly how old. Give
oh,
me an age range.
early
5
30s.
years, early 30s, right? Let's say you give the mantle to a 21-year-old and a FGC member that's still in their like late 30s, late 40s. You think a 21-year-old is gonna be equipped to deal with a veteran player that's traveled all over the place and all this other stuff, deal with the bullshit that person may bring in. Because he's gonna be like, oh man, he's an OG, and that's why the vitriol then comes in because we don't have people that are experienced or have the mental fortitude to check a fool like that. Because we not only know the laws, we know the rules that we set, and we can hold people accountable. You get me, bro? You dig? We ain't trying to be. I ain't trying to be in no argument with you, player. Like I was just at Frosty, right? So the head T.O there is Raina, and y'all need to learn her. That's a black woman running tournaments for the FGC, major events that she be working at, right?
Correct.
Everybody had to sign up for it, and we all signed on the mask policy, right? And there were fools walking around the ballroom with their masks off, not respecting the policies. So, Raina was like, hey, David, while you're here, could you shout to the room and tell everybody to put their mask on? I'm like, yo, everybody put your mask on or you're going to be asked to leave the event, blah, 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 right? And y'all know this because y'all are T.Os. And Aaron, I know you've seen this because you worked the final round. When they get told what to do, niggas get tight, bro. And they start
get mad.
Oh
they be
my
God.
they be trying to flex on you a little bit and like, oh, I paid my money to get in here. Fool, you also signed the paperwork saying that you're going to follow our rules and restrictions. And one of them was that you would put your mask on.
I mean, the clear bag policy. That's true.
Oh yeah, the clear bag policy didn't go over well. Now there were other factors as to why, but then what happened? That football tournament got shut up, and one of the FGC members got killed. All of a sudden, wow, the clear bag policy is just such a great idea, bro. That's it, bro. Do you understand what I'm saying when I say to you, I don't want to argue with somebody that don't even know how much they cost? This is why. That's why.
I love it, bro. I love it.
That's why. Because Frosty Faustings, which I just left, had 24-hour security, bro. 24-hour security. If the building was open, there were red shirts outside protecting people, going through bags. All right, so there were two parts of the tournament, right? There's a right side where the convention center is, and there's a left side where the convention center is. There are smaller ballrooms to the right, larger ballrooms to the left, right? Full. Every time you walk from the left and the right side, they checked your bag every time. So even if you were going from one tournament to another, if you walked into the right side, you got your bag checked. You walked out of the right side and then back over to the left side, you got your bag checked again. Because I don't know what you did. I don't know if you went outside and grabbed something. I don't know if you went upstairs. I don't give a shit about none of that. If you coming into this hallway, we checking your bag, player. Open it up.
Okay.
And that's what you dig.
That's
dig. What I'm trying to look on. Yeah, you understand. Like people ain't trying to hear that shit no more, bro. Safety's a real issue now. You saw January 6th. How we know one of them fools ain't gonna come up in the tournament acting a fool? You understand? Do what like what Boss DP, Big Boss DP said. Do what you gotta do. People be bringing their kids to these events, bro. Do what you gotta do, and do not be apologetic about that shit. The fuck?
Don't be afraid, yo. Don't get that. Don't be afraid. You got to take action. You are the head of an event, bro. People are looking towards you for guidance, for understanding, for knowledge. They expect you to know things when they come up to you and ask them. When people drop off their kids or something at your event, they want they want to make sure that they can come back again and be in a safer environment. If you see something that's sus or that's suspicious, you see some suspicious activity or something, you might have you have to report it. You got to take action. These events are open. Anything can happen. Everybody's security is at risk when you're at an open event, especially around people you don't know. You don't know them, so it's more a line of just trying to get a feel, right? Get a feel of what the environment is, being observant at all time. A TO always has to be on their toes. Always. they got to be alert. They got to be alert and attentive to situations because anything can happen. So,
Right.
yeah, that before I move on to the next topic, did y'all go ahead and finish if you had anything else?
Well,
Nah, I'm leaving it retro. I'm good, bro. Go ahead, retro.
nope, Mr. CalmWarrior, I am good. I took the message and I dig. I feel you. I'm ready to move on to the next topic.
All right, all right. So let me I ask this then. So, Calm Warrior, what are the future plans for your FGC for your area for your business?
Oh wow. Okay. So, um, without being too specific, because I don't have anything written down in stone yet, no contracts, no nothing. But like, all right, I'll tell you exactly what SBI is, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
had the 6 button company idea 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, right? When I started doing these events, I just incorporated the company maybe month and a half ago. You understand what I'm saying? You got to move slow, right? You got to do what you got to do in order to get to where you need to go. So, what 6 button did originally was because I realized there was a lack of representation in the higher echelon of the FTC and slash esports and communicating with all these people. So, a lot of it has to do with education and doing what we need to do because, it's kind of crazy. People need to understand more. So, what we want to do, like I've already earmarked $200 that's going to the Louisiana Smash community that I'm going to give them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, we're already going to be working with other T.Os, whether providing our services directly or going to doing some type of strategic helping, whether it be financial information, whether it be legal, or getting them, some access to legal people, whether um, getting them, how to run their events more efficiently. We've learned a lot how to do that because we were the poster child what everybody thought was incompetence. And I'm like, bro, we weren't incompetent. We just have to keep on dealing with people and their bullshit. Do you imagine how Fine Around would have ran if it wasn't us doing it? If it wasn't us being understaffed? Or people like, you know what I mean? Like people are quick to talk so much shit, but never really talked about how difficult people was. I remember there was one final round where Larry's mom died the Wednesday before final round. Could you imagine?
Hmm.
Final round, you can't cancel that tournament.
Hmm.
People are coming from Korea, Japan, all this other stuff. So with that being said, there are many TOs out there right now that need the help of what 6 button has to help with, whether it be
Mm-hmm.
information. Some people may just need information, right? They got it. They just need to go. Some people may need resources, access to systems or funds or whatever. They get it. They got to go. Some people may need strategic help. Hey, I might need you to come to my event to help me, do X, Y, and Z or whatever. Whatever it is, that's our plan, right? We got to generate revenue. I got to kiss babies. I got to shake hands. And that's one of the reasons why I went to Faustings. That's one of the reasons why I'm moving around. That's one of those things that we're doing to kind of generate revenue so we can turn around and give it back, not necessarily to the people directly, but directly to the TOs that need the assistance to continue
Mm-hmm.
doing what they're doing on a high level. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Or bring
Mm-hmm.
them to another level. So that's what 6 button is. I'm still doing tournaments in my local area. I'm still doing, my series of tournaments is called Hyper Bomb in San Diego. But I'm gonna be doing tournaments everywhere now. You understand what I'm saying? One of the reasons why I'm moving now, like I'm going to PAX East next month.
Nice. Nice.
And I'm doing, yeah, you know what I mean? Because I got to find out who these vendors are. Who are these people willing to bring monies into the culture? Are they a good company? Are they a good fit for the culture? You know what I mean? What are their plans really? So it's like
Mm-hmm.
with that, and then also what we're doing too is creating a collective of TOs. This is not an FGCOC thing. This is an FGC educational thing. Y'all come in and let's share resources. Let's share knowledge. There's a bunch of books that people need to read. If you're an FGC player or member, have you read the five the what is it the five book the five what is it from me? What can I think right now? I must be tired, bro. Hold on 1 second.
You good, bro?
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Musashi.
But in the meantime, while you thinking about it, you know, we got
the Book of Five
a few
Rings.
more months.
Yeah, the Book of Five Rings. So have you read the Book of Five Rings? Have you read Sun Tzu, The Art of War? Have you read the book about Starbucks to know about customer service and all those other things? Have you done any type of training on Google or online marketing? How are you currently marketing your stuff? Do you know how to do a deck? How are you doing your finances? Do you even know how to properly run a bracket? Because that's one of the things I remember having to teach you, Aaron. Remember? I had to hold you by your ear and be like, bro, nope, you do this side first, you do left side, you do right, you do left.
Hold on, that was not disclaimer. That was way back. That was eons ago. That was decades ago.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I just I gotta throw that disclaimer out there. I'm a legend now, but back in the day, yes, the hand holding was real.
You understand? You're digging, bro. No, bro, I was just at Frosty Faustings, and I was looking at a dude do a tournament bracket, and he did the winner's side up to top four first before he even touched losers. That means that losers were waiting for hours before they played. Nigga, where they do that? Where they do that? That is not the way to run a bracket. You and I both know that. You and I know this. You understand what I'm saying? These dudes are still out here running events, but don't really know what they're doing. We got to change that. You understand?
Proper training, and resources.
There's a certain order you run that. We run like the bracket.
Yeah, they're not. And you know, sometimes when people when they run the events and they take volunteers to get people to run brackets, they don't know how to do it. You know, they just count it as a body. You know, it's we just need you to hold this clipboard. We just need you to take this pencil and run the bracket. And I remember, what events? I think it was at a Dream Hack where the bracket runner wasn't too sure about the order of how the matches were going to be ran, and someone had to help him out with that. So I think we are, especially for the upcoming for Street Fighter 6, because we're getting ready, we're going into the next generation. Tekken 8. Street Fighter 6. So there's going to be a lot of new businesses, a lot of new companies, a lot of new people are going to stop popping up and trying to dip their toes into the FGC metaverse. So it's going to be, your organization may deal with them. A brand new business partner just started this year. I just opened up my business. I'm throwing in a $5,000 pot bonus. I got this player flying out, and they throwing in they throwing in a lot of money, right, to make sure their event is successful and stuff like that. And how many times have we seen people come and go like that? They do these big events, and then over time they slowly just fade away, disappear. You never hear from them again, right? And like you said. At the middle of the broadcast, he was like, "It's not for everybody. Everybody can't do this."
Yep.
So they go out with a bang by doing by doing the big thing, a couple of events, a few months down the road, and then they just disappear. We've seen it so many times. We've seen it and it's going to happen with 6.
Yep.
It's definitely going to be happening with 6 because they want to get in these new players.
Oh yeah, I think I probably told you ShadowAce as well, and I'll definitely tell you, CalmWarrior. I had that type of experience actually last year. But here's the best part. It was actually when they could never start. Because
they do what?
Like so I can tell you how many people came up to me to want to run events, and half the time died before it happened because I challenged them.
Listen, I got so many stories about that. That people are like, "Hey, can I help volunteering?" And the real ones, the homies, the ones that will come over and be like, dog. Let me give you back this bracket. This is not for me at all. This shit is hard as fuck."
Yeah. Oh no. This is like even before they get the foot in the door with the idea of running an event, because there were a few. Now there were a few that in our area that was like, "Hey, we want to do this fighting game tournament and get this and whatever." And I was like, "Oh, okay. I'll try to help out if I can." At the same, because the thing is, for our, we still had our main venue, and then there was like comic book shops and other stuff that try to invest into this thing like a niche market. And to see them to try to run an event, get low entry, and then see our event so consistently doing well, and they're like, "Well, what's going on? I don't understand." And I never forget one person was like, because we was watching one of the major tournaments, and the thing is was it was actually we were doing a tournament locally, and like 5 people, they were looking at the major tournament, and they're like, "See, I want to get there," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. Do you know what it takes?" This is where I kind of like started filling in. But last year, this is where people try to get things started, and right from the start, I challenged them right then and there about what they need to do just to get started. And I actually had confidence in knowing that who was not going to respond to me anymore and who would try and fail and give up anyway. It was a crazy experience to see that, where the person is like, "Hey, well, I got this idea. I want to do this and this and this and this." I said, "Okay, well, Eve wanted to do this. Well, this is what you need. You need A, B, C. You need this plugs. You need this and that and that. This is how much it costs. This is how much you're looking at paying. This and this and that. Let me know when you want to." The thing is, I even offered my help to them in
Right.
addition, and they were like, "Okay." And then they're like, "Yeah, I'll let you know." Cause then the best part, the sad and best part about it is like, "Yeah, bro, I got 20 people that can definitely come through for this event." And I'm like, okay. And then I have not heard back from them for 6 months, and cause and I'm like, oh, okay. But I think, but
Right.
this is like at the because currently I'm now at that point, I fully comprehending what it's like to run the tournament and what it's like now with people trying to jump in for a certain reason. Because once people start look like, and like you said, same with the players, the new generation of players, they gonna just try to make money for themselves or for the community, or for
Right.
beyond the culture of the community. And what
Mm-hmm.
I start learning to do is start challenging them at the door, because what will happen if you try if you just not challenge them at all and you just let them try to do whatever, you're gonna get that situation where people will try to put in something, invest a lot into it, and then they start wasting a lot more money, and they start getting upset about it, and they're gonna start bad mouthing. No, rather than bad
Mm-hmm.
mouthing themselves, they're gonna bad mouth the party or the community, whatever they try to outreach. And for us, is not. And the thing is, I try to tell them, I'm not trying to be negative about you. I'm not trying to tell them that you're trash, you're horrible at running events and so forth. Because I was more than willing to educate. I love to see more, Middle Georgia events going around and other people can run it. But it's like,
Aaron,
do you understand how to
Aaron,
run it?
let me stop both of y'all real quick.
Yeah.
Because you're TOs, you know how it is. When you go to these events, you want to work, you want to do whatever. Tell me how it feels when you go to an event and you don't got nothing to do other than play and talk shit with the owners. Tell me how that feels. Doesn't it feel great?
Yes.
Doesn't it feel wonderful?
Oh Lord, it
Doesn't it feel like a
does.
vacation?
Yes. Oh
Oh,
yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Escape.
why why wouldn't I want you? Because guess what a lot of TOs do? We don't play when we're running our events. Not
Mm-hmm.
because it's a conflict of interest. It's because we are so focused on making sure you're having a great time.
Mm-hmm.
That every one of your needs are being met. for your little $50 or $5 to get into the event. You want top-notch customer service. You think you got a Porsche for that $5? Stupid. Ooh, let me shut up.
Man, no. That's okay.
Nah.
It's okay.
Shut up.
No.
Ain't no shut up around here. Come on now. We need this. We need the good gospel.
Hold on,
You know what I'm
ShadowAce.
saying?
No, ShadowAce.
Where are your students? We here to listen to the good gospel.
Hold on, ShadowAce. I gotta tell you, cause you know that T.Os get paid for all this, right? You know they get paid easily, right? You know that we you know I'm going with this, right?
Oh man.
You know we get paid. You know we drove around luxury cars and stuff, you know, with the local tournaments.
Look, man, y'all make 8,000 per event. That's all the T.Os. All the T.Os are rich.
Sorry.
They come out of profit. They make everything. You know what I'm saying? They can eat shrimp and steak every day. You know what I'm saying? Carry gold butter.
Yo, truffle butter on my biscuits.
You know what I'm saying? Caviar.
I pay my mortgage.
Mm.
I pay my mortgage during this stuff. Are you kidding me?
Bruh.
How my 2 houses?
No lease.
For my 2 houses, bro.
No lease. Shoot.
Man, bro, you eating good.
My student loans are gone now, bro. Appreciate y'all.
Bro, yeah. I got 50 racks. Yo, the last tournament I did, bro, I made like $55,000, bro. What are you talking about? I paid my car and my house off, bro. You know what I mean?
Damn. And then we all wake up.
And then we all woke up.
Oh,
we all wake up.
No, this stuff like that. We all woke up.
Oh man, this is
man. Here's the best part. If we had money, I told someone in our chat too, and while one of Georgia chat, because they're talking about the complaints. I'm like, if we had money for every time, if we ran a business and making money based on every single complaint we had about the our tournaments from these players and these demands, it would have been enough to own a country to run nothing but tournaments all over.
And then they want to complain about payout. The payout is too low. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Yeah.
They don't want to pay. It's too expensive. 15 is too expensive. What? This tournament's even less than that. $10.
You saw what happened to Taylor Swift,
bro?
The Beyonce and Taylor Swift concerts, and people paying for that.
I'm like, please let me know. Please, I want to know.
Oh, I could look at Ticketmaster. At one point, it crashed. And these are hundreds. These not even 50. There's even not even, you know, they're at the minimum like $100-something, and they sold out.
But then again, what are we comparing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are we comparing apples to apples or oranges to oranges? Like, what are we comparing? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's the issue. We're not. Are we being truthful about the demographics?
Mm-hmm.
Right? The people that are supporting Beyonce are probably a little bit more educated, a little bit more financed, a little bit more, you know, better off financially.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, let's be real. Our customers go to cons like Dragon Con. They pay to go into an event to buy things.
They pay to go to an event to buy things, to purchase. Do you spend even more money?
Huh?
Right. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about that. If we're going to talk about it, let's talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, if it's okay with ShadowAce,
I don't know.
Communism?
Capitalism? Well, yo, hey, go ahead and ask me whatever questions you got to ask, because I'm going to have to jump on this flight pretty soon.
All right, let me dive into this last topic. I wanna hold you up. So, do you have any tips for the future generation of tournament organizers?
Hold on. Give me a second. Let me switch my headset out. Hold on.
Okay.
You guys hear me okay? Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
First of all, join SPI. That's first and foremost. Um, be not afraid to market together. Be
Mm-hmm.
not afraid to handshake and work together, despite different views on certain things. Listen to the people that have been doing this a lot longer than you. Do not be like the community. Listen to your OGs. Even if you have different business acumen levels that you do stuff at, you still need to be more nomadic. If you don't understand the culture more in depthly,
Mm-hmm.
your business sense isn't going to be able to apply properly because that person has the relationship that you don't have.
Mm.
Just be open to learn at any given time and make sure that you
Mm.
put in work and work. And right now, as it is, understanding the FGC isn't profitable.
Mm.
Not for a while.
Mm.
Not
Mm.
till you get to CEO and the way that E does things and the way that ECT and all these other places do things. Until you get to that level, you're not going to be profitable,
Mm.
and you got to work on things better. So, um, and come to me, holla at Josh, holla at John. We'll be happy to give you 20 minutes to 30 minutes of time to answer some questions about how you should do this. Because if you don't, you're going to be going through a lot of this stuff by yourself, where I or any other seasoned TO can direct you more wisely towards how to spend your monies
Mm.
and how to spend your time and your resources and who you should be connected to or what other sponsors you should be talking to.
Mm.
Mm.
You feel me?
I feel you.
So
I feel you.
that's all I got.
All right. All right. So, with that being said, before we wrap it up on the final thoughts, Retro, did you have anything?
No, I learned a lot, and I needed it. I needed it. I had to learn, even in the middle of the episode, I had to learn to not be afraid to say what I have to say, and also call out what needs to be called out. And hopefully that people who listened here definitely heard us and definitely heard this legend right here, CalmWarrior. Definitely his wisdom to really speak out against the BS or bullshit rather, you know against that, and also too don't be afraid to you know stand up for it and put your foot down. And of course, like Big Boss DP and many others in the chat said. So I've been taking notes. I've been taking notes and I've been listening as much as I've been saying. I do have to say some things so that way I know if I'm on the same page as the person or I'm on a different page, and I am make sure I'm on the same page. And yeah.
Yeah, you always for me, it's always about trying to strive to improve.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Regardless, of what you hear, you always want to learn. You always want to adapt,
Mm-hmm.
and just get better as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Retro, I will say this. So if you, I mean, you only can grow from here, right? Every step is a journey towards that personal growth. So
Mm-hmm.
when you look back, previous years, and you compare the difference between then and now, and you see the growth that you've gone through, it's just an amazing experience because your team is going to have your back, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure nobody's going to talk to you crazy in person. When you got Big Boss there, when you got Joshua there, when you got the Reboot crew there, I'm pretty sure people are not going to go at you crazy about a situation or a decision that you make as a TO. So they'd have your back for sure. I'd have your back for sure, for certain if I'm in the building. And yeah, man, this has just been a very insightful experience, man. I want to, of course, thank Calm Warrior, David, for taking this time out and giving us a little insight on what goes down, TO wise, and giving us the story, the origin story of TO Talks too, as well. Just really a lot of insightful experience that we gained from this. and we're just going to use this to move forward. We're just going to keep progressing, just getting better and better. And thank you so much for that. Before we get out of here, we did have some slides, but before we get to the slides, CalmWarrior, your final thoughts? Did we lose him?
I know you'll get ready for the flight soon. CalmWarrior?
Yeah, he did say his flight was getting ready. He was getting ready to go for his flight. So it's all good though. Just appreciate his time. Retro, do we have the slides ready?
Yep. Of course, I know he sent in one thing from here. I'll go ahead and start with it. Of course, Electric City, if you guys see it. Showdown. Oh,
Can you hear me? I had to come back. Sorry.
oh, no, you're good.
Oh, you did. You did. Yeah, we were just asking you final thoughts. 'Cause I know you're getting ready to take off for your flight, so I didn't want to hold you up too long.
I'm glad that you guys do your own podcast. I'm glad that you guys are doing your own thing. I'm happy that we're all moving into the space. I'm all happy that we're going to be able to learn and be able to monetize this space. We got to be able to do things more creatively and do things more collectively as a group, man. Because like without doing all this stuff, you never understand what our next venture could be. You know what I mean? It could be TV, it could be programming, it could be something else. You know what I mean? So like, I do not doubt that we're going to be moving to the next level soon, right? Where we have enough resources to do more together. And that's what it is, right? We have to keep open that, that the rising tide raise all sails, as John says, as I'll be messing that saying up all the time. But it is that time where we need to move forward together. Because if we get to move forward together, no one can stop us, bro. No one can come in here and take advantage of us. No one can come in here and get a shitty deal. Like all that shit needs to end. All these random dirtbag companies that come in and, fly too close to the sun and burn out will help people to slow down. Some of these T.Os come in and they're so passionate and it's great. But pace yourself, fool. You got people that have been in here for 20 years and they're telling you, bro, slow down. Because I used to do the same thing and I burnt out and I got depressed and I had to go away for a bit and come back. And they're like, nah, that won't happen to me. And then you watch them a year and a half later, they burnt out, they talking shit about the community, they want to get out. And you just sitting there looking at them like, didn't I talk to that idiot one time doing dinner where I told him to slow down and he didn't want to listen? All right, praise God, bro. You got it.
That was always me.
You know what I mean? Like, that's it, man. People get emotional sometimes when they get overwhelmed and they mess themselves up. So that's another thing too, right? That could be your resource. Maybe they don't need help with running brackets and doing this and all this other stuff. Maybe they just need you as an ear, just to like bounce ideas off of, and you're like, that's a good idea, or you know what, maybe that's not a great idea. Maybe you shouldn't do that one. So, with that, that's my final thought on this particular conversation.
All right, definitely do appreciate that. Because I know you're getting ready to take off. Where can the good people find you at on the interwebs?
Oh, on the interwebs right now, the best place to reach me is at CalmWarrior JA on Twitter or at T.O Talks Esports. You can get in reach with me that way. My DMs are always open. Or you can do at Bracket Visionaries, just like that. That has my work phone number and a contact email for me as well, written in the notes of that. So feel free to reach out that way as well. And you know what I mean? We happy to help. And don't worry, all the 6-button stuff is gonna come up soon because that's its own separate entity. And look out for me. I mean, I might be in your city pretty soon this year. You never know. So let's holler at me. And we'll talk some more. And we'll politic or chop it up on things that we either agree on or disagree on. I'm open to open conversation about things that need to be discussed. So look out for your boy.
Well, people in that chat already pretty much been checking you out a little bit. So, all right.
No, for sure, man. But you've done phenomenal work, man, and a lot of people are noticing out there. The audience is growing too. Every time you go live, you're getting a captive audience that wants to hear what goes on, what's going on out there. So it's good that you're giving back to the community by just contributing knowledge and understanding about what goes down. And there's just things that just haven't been brought to light, and you're not afraid to address them and talk about it. So it's
All
it's
right, can I
that you,
leave
you
you?
give courage. You give courage to people who may not be too vocal or just
Wow.
just holding back, and you just give them the courage to speak up. So
I appreciate
I
that. I never
appreciate
heard
that.
nobody hear that to that before.
Yeah.
I've given like wisdom, but to say I've given people courage, fuck, dude.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, because I
dude,
mean, people
That's
be shouting.
wild.
They don't
dude.
want to say nothing.
No, you
They don't want to. Your TO talks, but
Right,
they're not talking.
shoot, you made me talk tonight. I don't want
right.
to talk. I just want to listen.
You know what? I'll say this one thing. I'll leave you with this one thing, and I gotta run. I'll say this one thing, and I'll run,
Mhm.
and I'll listen to the end of whatever you got to say and follow up. The truth has no problem being verified. I'll say it again. The truth has no problem being verified. As long as you move within your truth and you're honest about a situation, that type of stuff is never going to be an issue for you. You get what I'm saying? Move with integrity, move with honesty, move with truth, move with transparency, as much as you're willing to give. I'm not telling nobody to expose their books or no crazy shit like that, their finances or whatever their thoughts are, nothing like that. But just as it pertains to the community and the culture within it, I mean, the culture and the community within it, just move with integrity, bro. You're not going to be rich overnight, but the money will come. And start off with, you know what? Break even at your tournament. Start there. Make the tournament pay for itself. Figure that out. And then push. And then push. And then you'll understand. You know what? Okay, you got to finance it first. Cool. But once it pays for itself, then you're good to go. But I mean, remember, the truth has no problem being verified. And with that, gentlemen, I got to get on this flight. So I'll holler at y'all boys later, man.
Yeah. You have a safe flight,
All
man.
right, all right. Safe,
All right,
safe flight,
all right,
man.
peace.
Appreciate it, man.
All right,
All right,
all right, later.
yes, sir.
All right.
That was CalmWarrior. That was damn. What an episode, man. That was great. That was great.
Man, I thought on the Bible.
Now,
I was sitting in that front pew the whole time. That's what it felt like.
look, how many times we passed the collection plate around? Huh? You know what I'm saying? We gotta do communion real quick. It's just so much knowledge that's just been shared with us, man.
Right.
We definitely do appreciate someone of his caliber, because he could have turned us down. He could have been like, nah, I'm good. But he didn't. He wanted to, talk with us, chat it up with us, and we do appreciate that, man. And that just goes out for anybody. That's even if you're listening to the rebroadcast, come talk with us. Me and Retro, we're more than happy to have you on here. We could talk and chat it up. If you want to bring something to light, please feel free to join us to do so, man. We don't ask people to hold back. Everyone's grown, pay bills, so you got a right to to talk your ish, right?
Yep. So I'll
You
just
let them cook.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Because you know what? Just post it up there. You just type in exclamation mark. I got next. Well, there's the link for the podcast next to be in the feature next podcast episode. Don't have to be in Georgia either, because like I said, we just had the guy, the legend from California, but helped out in Georgia for sure and taught this man ShadowAce the ways. And you see where ShadowAce is now? I bet the shoot.
This man, he was in the scene before I got in there. That's a long time,
Bro.
I said this man. He was like, we was like, oh, he got more experience than both of us combined. He said, yep.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I said, okay, bet. But yeah, I thought he was just joking, but he was dead serious. So it's like, man, learning from somebody like that, that's just amazing.
Yeah.
That's just amazing. So I can't wait to see who else we can bring in and talk to and chat it up. But yeah, we got some slides to go through real quick. So let's talk about it.
Yep.
I think the first one up is going to be from Electric City Showdown. That's going to be February 25th, 2023. Registration starts at 12 p.m. I don't have the start GG sign up link as of yet. I actually got this from Dirty Llama within our data Discord.
Hey.
So, you know what I'm saying? I got to wait. I got to ask him again for the link, the sign up link for that event. But you guys can see the games there that are featured. Going down in South Carolina, Anderson, South Carolina.
Okay.
Their main titles, Guilty Gear Strive, Tekken 7, Third Strike, and then they got the side games over there, Ultra Street Fighter 4, KOF 15, Ultimate Marvel 3, Guilty Gear, Rev 2, and then Under Night 2 as well. So they had a variety of different games going down over there. So if you want to support the Anderson, South Carolina FGC, come out to those events. Should be a good time. But again, I had to see about trying to find the start.gg sign up link for it for more details.
All right. Cool. Yeah. So I said definitely. Oh yeah, you got a bunch of classics like Third Strike and Ultra Street Fighter 4. I'm sure you're gonna be going over there soon, ShadowAce. Claim another trophy from Ultra Street Fighter 4.
We'll see what happens. You never know. There may be a hidden monster out there in the Anderson, South Carolina scene. So
Hey,
we'll see what happens.
nothing wrong with that. But of course, slightly before that, actually, this upcoming Saturday, we are definitely going to have our last tournament before our March finals. So at Reboot, on the 11th, we are going to have the Reboot monthly. It's going to be Smash Brothers, Street Fighter 5, Tekken 7, and Guilty Gear, which are part of the circuit for the ranking. But we did a voting for a game to be added in the rotation, but there'll be side tournaments available afterwards. But the biggest voted game was Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and apparently we got just in time because apparently we got some Atlanta players there coming down for that game. So of course, some good old Marvel. This game is now a teenager age almost. It's like 12 years old almost. Yeah. So yeah, it's like I said, it's reaching that status about to enter high school soon. So that's how old it is. But yeah, definitely. But of course, for those who do not know, we have a Middle Georgia circuit that's happening, and Smash Brothers, Street Fighter 5, Tekken 7, Guilty Gear. They're part of the circuit. We get ranking points. This is the last tournament to get the ranking points. However, we don't have the full details out, but it has been announced recently. Our finals for the event will be in March 18th, and there will be a last chance qualifier for the 16th spot. So 15 spots by points. 16th is by the last chance qualifier during the finals. We'll get that full information out and fully verified too. So definitely, of course, see the details there. And I believe we have one more. Of course, on the week after our event on this month, if you guys are interested, check out the Capcom Last Chance Qualifier Pro Tour. It's the big finals that lasted for the week, actually. It's going to be interesting to see the players go out there, get a chance to qualify for the last spot, and then see the big finals for Street Fighter 5, because it's pretty much going to be the last Street Fighter 5 Capcom Pro Tour.
Yeah, for sure, man. This is it, the swan song for the game. The last big event for this game. I think outside of Combo Breaker, I think that's in May, just before the release of Street Fighter 6. So I think that'll be like the last big event for the game there. So there'll be players there playing homage and tribute to that lasting legacy. So once that's done, we're going into a brand new era. You guys heard the new change in the beginning of the intro. So this is just a part of that. We going into the next generation. So we already got our characters on the front page there. So we ready for this new. Our old season one poster had our old characters on there. Ed and G, but now we're going in with Ed and JP, and that's bars.
Yeah.
But with that being said, we're excited for this, man. We're excited to see who we get to talk to next. Once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in and supporting the podcast as always. You know what I'm saying? Season 2, episode 3 was a big success. I'll get with Retro to see if he is interested in doing a particular episode. I can't say it just quite yet, but we'll go ahead and discuss that. But for right now, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 3. Whether you're listening to it live or enjoying the rebroadcast, we appreciate the support, and we can only look forward to growing from here. So GG's to everybody. Retro, you got any final thoughts for the good people?
Yep. Shout outs to everyone in the Middle Georgia FTC community. FTC, or now I have to say culture, because what he just CalmWarrior just called it culture versus community. But I'm glad. Thank you guys, for being part of the community, and it's been supportive, and made me feel appreciated. Despite the ups and downs, for the 5 years we've been official as Reboot Retrocade Gaming. So major shout outs to y'all guys. And we actually booked our if you see already, everybody booked and registered for CEO. So we're going to be traveling. Middle Georgia is going to be out and about, baby. I'm excited. So, and then last but not least, now I'll say this though. First shout outs to Jackal Man for making the promo for us and the poster. Now, if G somehow makes a return, if I need to pay, I will pay. I will get G to replace JP. I'm sorry. I think, I don't know. I've been reading some theories and trying to go through some ideas in my head. So that's what I say. But I got JP though. JP, my dude. I'm interested.
Oh, for sure. That was like I think his theme is the next one up, right? Out of all the regular, I think everybody else got their theme except for JP.
Yeah,
they're like the character theme song.
Yeah, you're right. Because DJ was recent one, and but also too next, because also with next week, because this a week from now, in a sense, we're going to be actually having the Capcom Cup finals. So then we're going to have a new trailer. So we're going to have some more reveals and teasers and everything. So I'm excited. So pretty much the episode after this one, oh man, I know we're going to definitely talk about what's going to be revealed and probably talk about the Capcom Cup.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the episode following Capcom Cup is going to go crazy. Because it's probably, more than likely we're going to get a lot of new information, and they do after the finals, and they do the special whatever. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Very exciting time to be a fan of the game, and since this is pretty much the last big event for it. A lot of people are going to be tuning in because it's like, all right, it's been fun. You get to see all the complaints about Luke. You see the egg complaints. Just a lot it'll be a lot of interesting good times, man. So why not celebrate the 7-year legacy of the game by tuning into one of the final events for it?
Yep. Oh yeah, with the fact that both your characters, Ed and Rashid, is going to return. So that's going to be very interesting to see. But
oh man,
yeah,
GG's.
But yeah, once again, thanks to everyone who tuned in. Hope you guys got a lot of knowledge. I know I definitely did from CalmWarrior, and yeah, I definitely going to soon was any last closing remarks from ShadowAce. I'll have a person I will definitely raid to support the stream. So yeah.
Oh, for sure, man. The usual suspects that's always rocking with us in the chat. You know, you guys are the VIPs. We call you out like while we're even doing the podcast. So, you know what I'm saying? Of course, Big Boss EP, FGC Chris, you know, McPanther joined us in today. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Warden of the Sand too as well. I saw you a bit earlier also. So thank you guys for tuning in to the live broadcast. But for those who are watching the archive, we appreciate you too as well. I'm out the door. GG's. Good stuff, SirRetro. Thank you for holding it down on the production, doing a wonderful job. You know, maintaining a great balance with our chemistry and the commentary. And we're just going to keep evolving. We're just going to keep getting better. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. We can only go up from here. So we're going to make it happen, man. You know, I think one day eventually we'll get Capcom to come in and take a look at us, and we might even possibly get a sponsorship from them. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. The sky's the limit. Again, that intro was fire. Dude, appreciate that support. Thank you. Yeah, that'll be it for me, man.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, thank you once again, ShadowAce, for the opportunity. This has been a great run, and I definitely want to keep it running. And as well, just so people support us. And like I said, you know, definitely follow. Yeah, where the good people can follow you, ShadowAce?
You can be up on the Twitter at Mind of ShadowAce. I post updates about when events that I'm in or running, and in addition to like teasers for future episodes too as well. We'll coordinate things to see what episode 4 is looking like. Who knows which way, which direction the wind may take us over here. So we'll see what happens. But for now, this has been ShadowAce and SirRetro. If you can guide the good people over to another destination.